Well, there goes the Daverhood. Me looking at, I don't know if you can see them. It's like rolling.
Go back.
Oh yeah, wait, we got this. We got that. Oh, it's hard to, yeah. And this is one we had my choice of condiments at the restaurant.
I wish we would have an ice.
It's playing like weird, I don't know, it's montage music.
That's you and Austin.
Yeah, these are from years ago, some of them. Yeah. Now it's from 2020 New Year's,
Okay.
when we did the outside show.
Yeah.
Now it's me in a car eating ice cream because that's all I did in Hewlett was the ice cream. And then there's us somewhere in clouds, probably not Colorado. That's me with a cricket, or no, it was a grasshopper. That's me falling in love with a porta potty.
Yeah.
That's me pointing to
Donuts, like
bag of donuts.
Yeah.
There's Joey bag of donuts there. That's me with a car for I don't know why. This was recent. That was when we went to the fair and I had the $13 shake. This is where the giant lemons.
Gonna do.
Yeah, I hope that I want to turn this music off so I don't lose I don't get like ASCAP problems with copyright. But Joyce makes these montages.
No, this is Google.
Oh, and so Autumn makes some of the pictures that she takes, share the memory with family and friends. You, my friends.
Spotlight on DGB.
Yeah, Dave's gone by.
This is the moment. I don't know what.
This is not a moment I want to revisit. If I'm
That's after you get over.
Yeah.
That was right after you got over COVID and we got you your post-COVID ice cream, remember?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I was like isolated for 3 weeks back in New York. So anyway, yeah, we're just going through old times here. We'll have Greeley crimes and old times later.
You're right. Yeah.
But Joyce's phone, she takes a lot of pictures of me. She's kind of
just keeps swiping left.
documenting my life. This I do have. Oh yeah, there's a lot more. I don't have pink tits. This is
Go the other way.
Oh, the other way. All right, that's turtle. All right. Oh, hold on. This is the unicorn that we have promised to give back to our next door neighbor that was trying to get rid of it in a yard sale, but it's still in our kitchen.
He's a little depressed though. He needs some medication.
Well, there's not no spine in him to keep his neck up.
No, he does not have it. Yeah.
So this is pictures we took this week of me with unicorn. There were naughty ones that I was doing naughty things to the unicorn, and here he gets back at me by doing naughty things to me, which I rather enjoyed. You can't see you can see his horn, but there's another. I don't even want to go there. See, so much fun.
Do the one where you're holding his horn. Keep going.
Well, I'm trying to. Yeah. Oh, this is where he's really. He's getting busy with me. Yeah, getting busier. But here's. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that's the horn one. See, look, you're laughing. Yeah.
If you guys wonder what Joyce and I do the whole rest of the week when I'm not on the air, it's stuff like this. And I'm actually having real fun there.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is rare for me, but look at me, I'm having a great time. Yeah.
Oh,
and we're dancing. Look.
yeah, the dancing one.
Oh, there it is. There's one.
Brother dancing.
So these are sweet. So we're gonna give them back this week, but for a few more days in our kitchen there, we're having fun with. Isn't it a nice kitchen? So that's me and Big Giant. I've been telling you about him the last couple of weeks. They were selling him across the street or trying to.
I don't think they were selling him as much as trying to just offload him.
Yes.
For schmuck.
Like we'll give you if you take the because he has not only is it enormous, not only is he depressed looking, but on the side of him there's a stain that could either be chocolate or gravy or shit that cannot be removed from some child or animal that owned or enjoyed this unicorn many years ago. So now when I saw it, not only was it enormous, but I'm like, oh, there's a shit smear on it. I need this. Yeah, so he's in the kitchen at the moment for a little while longer before I have the I don't know, the guts, the power of will to bring him back.
You have to feel like the time is right. Like you'll feel it. Like you'll feel
when they grow up and it's time for them to move away. when it's time for
I think
unicorns to
you'll
start
feel it.
college.
You'll feel it, like when the time is right, you'll
Yeah.
feel it.
Now, speaking of feeling something, Joyce just handed me something quite wonderful.
Well, we just buy bags of pears all the time because I eat a lot of fruit, and sometimes, Mother Nature has a good sense of humor, obviously.
So,
We'll show them the normal side.
well, the pear, here's a pear that we got probably at either Wegmans or a store, excuse me, a store we go to called Mom's, where, they specialize in produce and vegetables and things. So, okay, it's a pear, it's a Bartlett pear. And yet, Joyce noticed this even before I did. The back of this pear, I don't know. Yeah, of course you can see that. And Joyce is like, okay, Dave, go downstairs, slice me up a pear, slice my apple, blah, blah, blah. And she sees it, I grab it and she's like, no, don't do that one. Don't do that one.
Look at it.
And I'm like, why not? And she says, take a look. Yeah, it literally, and immediately I went from wanting to cut it up and have you eat it to wanting to take a brown magic marker and draw little hairlines along the ridge. When I think
turn it up, you see the tushy butt. See?
Oh, well,
Yeah,
if that's the how can
that looks like a
it's more like a girl.
No, it's a butthole.
Or hold on, let's do this right.
I can't.
And there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Dave's Gone, but you have no idea why the hell you're watching this. But
it's amazing.
This is our 899th episode of the show. We've been doing these since 2002. Honest to gosh, I have no idea why. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's my wonderful wife, Joyce. And basically, it's some of this nonsensical banter.
I love your
Everybody who tunes into the show for the first time is like, what the hell am I? They type on Facebook, what the hell am I watching? And then they watch another half hour or an hour or so.
They want to buy your clothing.
Yeah, right. And then snazzy.
Snazzy.
And then they kind of understand eventually, or they just never watch again. But it's a mix of humor and talk and different segments that we do, including Greeley Crimes and Old Times. So we have some funny stories, real stories that came out of Northern Colorado this past week or two. Plus, we also have our yesterday trivia quiz. People love that one. That's going to be starting probably at about 10:30 in the morning. Eastern.
10, right?
Right. So the guest is going to stay for the trivia quiz at 10:30.
Who's the guest?
That guest is. That's one of the reasons I'm wearing this shirt. These are flamingos, but make believe these are storks. And you are it's 1950s, 1960s New York, or maybe Los Angeles. The Stork Club.
Wow.
And you go there with your doll, all dolled up, and you light a cigar. Not that I'm pro smoking.
With your
And you bring here's my dolly. Here's my little. This is a little underage.
You go with the dolly. You said you go with the dolly.
It is a dolly. This is our beautiful little axolotl doll. But when you go with the girl, you get a cigarette, a smoke. You get a brandy or a whiskey or a cognac or something, and a beer chaser or whiskey chaser. I don't know how they do these things. And then you settle back, and on the stage, you get your old school victimons, your Dinah Shores, your Tony Bennett's, or most specifically, your Frank Sinatra. And then you
old blue eyes, yeah.
You sit back for an hour in a smoke-filled room, and you see old Blue Eyes do what he does.
Yeah.
And what he did spectacularly well, particularly in the 50s and 60s. So to recreate that feeling, there's a guy named Steven Maglio. And Steven Maglio has for many years now been doing that. He's not a Sinatra impersonator, but he's sort of like Carrie Hoffman.
Explain, yeah.
He does Sinatra songs
like experience
in the style of. So it's not like an Elvis impersonator who's doing that.
About Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, oh please, yeah.
My grandfather was a musician, so he loved music.
Yeah.
And they all were invited to see this show of Frank Sinatra Jr.
Oh, Junior, yeah.
And you know what they did? It was terrible. They did the worst thing. They're like, he's good, but he's not as good as his father.
Well, they told him that when
but it's sad. It's like the son, even the son of the person who has the same genes and probably trained by the father, can't be the father. So why would an impersonator be able to be the, I've
You
never
know, the
seen.
person doesn't want to be
Yeah,
Sinatra. He wants to recreate what it felt. Kind of this is from hearing classic
like
American
a
songs.
speakeasy, like a
Yeah.
speakeasy.
In a milieu that is that old 1950s
Do you have
swanky
to
evening out.
smoke? Do you have to smoke?
You don't have to smoke.
Do you have to drink?
I mean, here's the
Is it
deal.
a club? Where does he do it?
Well, the thing is, Steve Maglio, this particular time when he's pushing is,
Was it
I should
traveling?
mention this, it's at the Cutting Room. It's with a big band. This Wednesday night at the Cutting Room. It's called Not Just Sinatra.
I would
Because
love it because I love big bands.
But he
Live
also
music,
does, yeah, but his other thing is he plays every Saturday night at a place called the Carnegie Club, which I guess it's on West 56. It's attached on some level to Carnegie Hall or right next to it.
Oh, I know where that is. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so every Saturday night he's there, and it's one of the rare places in New York or anywhere where they still allow smoking or even encourage it. You can have a smoke and a drink and sit back and listen to live band, old
Do
style
people do
music.
that going in?
Yeah, they must.
Okay.
And I'm sure half the people are like guys from Bensonhurst or Brooklyn, New York, who want to have a cigar because there aren't like these fumador places all over New York for people who just want to
That's
have a smoky
interesting.
smoke. And good for them. It's
private.
banned everywhere, but if you want it, there's places you can go.
And you have to, but you buy tickets and stuff.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah. As a matter of fact, if you want to see Steve Maglio at the Cutting Room, I think tickets are $95 plus a 2-drink minimum or something like that.
Do you think the rabbi could ask him, because most of the singers that I know very few singers, obviously, and not like you, but they don't like smoke for their vocal
Oh,
cords.
but
Yeah.
some of the greats smoke. Sinatra probably it didn't ruin his voice, and some of it deepened his voice. It's not great for everybody. If I were, Placido Domingo. Or Carreras or whoever, plus I'd be busy chasing girls. But if I were Pavarotti or something, I would not.
I wonder.
Yeah. Or if I
Maybe
were.
it's because it's such a short time. It's like what, a couple hours? I don't know.
One there.
Maybe he has some sort of ritual to protect his throat.
Maybe, probably at this stage of his career,
Mhm.
or maybe it's just like, hey, he's not trying to be a tenor in Tosca. He's trying to sing with a deep, resonant 1950s world-weary, set him up, Joe. And if you're saying like a 14-year-old, it's not going to work. It's like, one more from my baby, one more road. So if your voice is a little shot and phlegmy and gravelly, it's good. It kind of adds to. I'm against smoking, and I think tobacco companies are evil and all that. But
Ask him that.
ask him of what he does. I mean, because he's obviously a smoker.
Yeah, I would say like, how does the smoke? I'm thinking because we just saw that weird Celine Dion thing on TikTok.
Yeah. Oh, was that new or was that from?
No, somebody else posted it in one of my.
Celine Dion. One of the reasons that she hasn't been around, aside from the fact that the music sucks, is that
she's got a beautiful voice.
she does. But the thing is, she's been battling some kind of very one-in-a-million illness. So it's literally stiff person syndrome. Unfortunately, I haven't had that since my early 40s. Anyway, thank you.
I'm drinking my tea. I can't do it.
It's like every man over 55 wants stiff person syndrome. So, but she's got this thing, and it's neurological. It's apparently
some sort. She can't sing. I mean, I don't know what the.
I have no idea. It's probably not good. She's dealing and hoping she'll get over it.
Let's see what it is.
Yeah, what is stiff person syndrome?
I don't know if I want. Oh wait, I can't look it up.
We can go to the local cemetery and see like
it's something
12,000
like,
stiffs. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's like.
Anyway, the show's called Dave's Gone By.
Okay,
We got Steve Maglio. Steven. Yeah.
It's a rare progressive neurological disorder.
Mhm.
Stiff muscles in the trunk, arms, and legs. Greater sensitivity to noise, touch, and emotional distress, which can set off muscle spasms.
All right.
Wow, they have a shorter life expectancy
Oh,
sometimes.
that's not good.
Can a person recover?
Aha.
The severity are person to person. There's no cure, but there's treatment.
All right. Yeah, because it makes me wonder, like, if she can get through a song here or there,
She could
without
also
spasming.
take that. Is it a form of MS?
Oh, is it?
No.
No. But I wonder, like, people would still pay, $500 to see her, even if she has to take a break.
How do they
In between the
diagnose it?
Well, if you walk into the thing and they know it's not this, and they know they probably ran 5 million tests on her, and barring anything else, someone.
What causes it?
Mm,
Autoimmune reaction, they're thinking.
mm, mm. I'm sure there are people who think, oh, she got the vax. It must be from the vaccine.
EMG, they're testing myography, I guess muscles and blood tests and blood gluing.
Yeah.
She can barely move. Yeah, look, she does look.
Well, she always looked emaciated.
Helen though, she has that same beautiful, like my Aunt Helen had that same face.
Yeah, she
My
yeah.
Aunt Helen had hazel eyes. She was gorgeous, but she reminds me of her.
Anyway, so Steven Maglio will be talking to Rabbi Sal Solomon, the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sal. And it says, oh, cool. Well, this is for next week.
Oh,
that's a special ring for the 900th episode of Dave's Gone By. Chris is flipping around the table.
I got to cut the letters in gold. We have the gold paper. Yeah.
Yes. Next week, not this week. Next week is, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I don't even know what our 900th episode is going to look like. It was going to be a normal episode, but I'm stumped, because it's not well, I did a big thing for my 500th.
Yeah.
We just had a lot of and it was like, and then 600, nothing much. 7, 8 was kind of big-ish, and then 9, it's betwixt and between. Yeah. So
I like, isn't 9 a Jungian number? 9 is a very good number for young.
All right. Well, I'm not that young anymore. I'm almost 60.
You're young kid. I think we need to do something fun.
Yeah, well, I try and do something fun on every
But
episode.
even more fun, or maybe you could do some dancing.
No, that will not be happening. Maybe Axolotl will dance.
What do you think would be fun?
I have no idea. I mean, maybe I'll do it outside.
We can get a cake. I saw the funniest cake.
Yeah.
And it's a going away cake. Somebody got a job at another place, and the colleagues got a cake and said, "You're never gonna have colleagues as good as us."
Oh, I like that.
We could get a cake made up,
Yeah, or something. Is it? I would share it with all of you, each of you watching at home.
Well,
To get a little
we're still
sliver.
waiting for the crown from Leslie, so we shouldn't
Right.
really say.
Leslie Hoban Blake is supposed to join us. Oh, we got foggy for a moment. Leslie Hoban Blake is supposed to join us as part of our quiz today. We're hoping she will.
I'll take off the Wi-Fi. Where's your phone? I'll take off the Wi-Fi.
Probably in the other room, so don't worry about it.
No,
I think I spit on it. That's why it got all. I like breathed near it and went all foggy. Let me be an old time movie star. Let me set the scene for Steven Maglio when he comes to talk to Rabbi Sal Solomon and play the game. I'm gonna be like, no, that cleared up. Why did that? When I wanted to get foggy, hold on. Look, behold. Yeah. I don't know. When I don't want to get foggy, it's foggy. Anyways, Rabbi Sal Solomon will be doing the honors interviewing Steven Maglio. Rabbi Sal is, of course, the founder and a spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. Rabbi Sal does most of our interviews these days, and he loves that old school music. He loves the Sinatra era and the Tony Bennett era. So he has some great questions to ask Steven Maglio when he comes by to the Daverhood later in the show. He'll also be playing, as I said, the Today Yesterday trivia quiz with David Sheward and Leslie Hoban Blake. It's a fun trivia quiz. You guys can play along with silly, ridiculous questions that most of them you're not even supposed to really get. It's almost a guess, but the fun is in guessing and trying to kind of think of Dave saying, how is Dave trying to trick us on this one? And then you sort of figure that out. Anyway, we will also have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we will be going to Red Cliff, Colorado. It's a place in Colorado, Red Cliff. We were gonna do it last week on the show, but then last week turned from a regular show into one of our annual, well, we only do it annually, our Broadway Tony Awards specials. So I swapped that out for some Broadway limericks of the darned, as opposed to Colorado limericks of the damned. If you missed it, of course, you can watch our archives at davesgoneby.com or go to davelefkowitz.org to read the Broadway limericks of the darned. And it was in celebration of the Tony Awards. And as I've been rambling about last couple of weeks, I felt rather disconnected from the Broadway scene these past couple of months, because Joyce and I moved to Maryland.
You want the light on?
No, I think it looks really nice here.
Let me know. I took the Wi-Fi off both phones.
Thank you. So, because when you don't see a whole bunch of a season, it's a little hard to, like when I was growing up and I started to go to the movies a lot. We had a local movie theater about a mile and a half, 2 miles from where I lived. And that would be my pilgrimage when I wasn't going to school. I would go to the movie theater for the cheap matinee and I'd see all the latest films. Like a few months, then there were sometimes they were still first run, or I would go a little later in the thing. And by the time the Oscars came around, when there were only like 5 nominees, instead of now there's like 15 things for Best Picture. But back then, I would watch the Oscars, and it was but I had a vested interest because I saw all these films. And I was like, how could Gandhi win over here? And I did this for a few years because I was in it. I wanted to be a film student and all these things. But, as I moved away from that, the Oscars became less interesting to me for all the years that I stopped watching, HBO and movies on cable, and I would see 1 or 2 of the Oscar nominees and there being a rooting interest. And I moved more towards theater. So I became passionate about Broadway and the Tony Awards. Yeah. So every year I would literally not just see all the best musical and best play, but I mean, all the way down to like set design. And I'm like, how can, yes, I'm glad they nominated that.
And people know you for it. All your friends ask you, when are you going to do your Tony show, right?
Well, so it's my life and career. But this past year and post-COVID and not having these breaks and living in New York for all those years living in Colorado, where I see some of this season, but far from all of it. And then, but this past one was the worst. This one was the one that sort of broke off because I saw a couple of shows at the very tail end of last season into this one. And then 1 or 2 more when we visited in October. And I was not blown away by any of them. I think that hurt too. I saw like 3 things.
Well, you needed something that would knock your socks off. Reignite the fire. Yeah.
Because I was thinking about what I saw, and I realized I saw the Pulitzer-winning play Cost of Living. Yeah, that's and I was like, it's okay. It was. I'm glad I saw it, but I was like, meh.
It didn't work for you.
It didn't work for me. I didn't care. I saw the revival that everybody loved of Into the Woods, the Sondheim musical, Sondheim and Lapine, and it was not my favorite Sondheim show to begin with. And then I'm thinking, this is very well done. It's good, and I liked it. But it was ruined for me by one audience member who was just laughing and cheering at every fucking line. You ever have that where you're trying to concentrate and then and there's a certain level of either you enjoy it and you smile, or people around you kind of chuckle and give a nice, and then there's only, I'm like, it's like, not Robert Mitchum, but who's the guy in Cape Fear?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
He goes to the movies and like Gregory Peck is there with his family trying to watch the film, and sometimes like and it ruins the entire experience. But he's doing it intentionally. This person, I can tell, I don't know what her problem, but she just loved the show.
God bless her.
No, let her be in the balcony.
Do you think it disturbed the actors?
I don't know, because I think with this show and the way audiences have sort of devolved, there's a certain sense where they feel more participatory. They're used to watching everything at home because of the pandemic and talking to the TV or something like that.
I mean, you think the actors got thrown by it?
I'm saying I'll bet the actors are getting used to it too, because they'll hear it coming back. And sometimes, if they don't think that she's overmuch, they're thrilled. It's like, oh boy, these jokes are landing. Yeah, that line isn't even that funny, but we got a ringer. She might have been. I've dealt with that.
Where we were at something And people drink and they get loose, right?
Yeah.
And they just kind of let loose, maybe.
But this was not a cabaret. This is a Broadway theater with a major
I
revival of
wonder
Into the
if
Woods.
people- Remember the woman had an orgasm at the opera? Maybe it's the same woman.
We weren't there for this, unfortunately. No, this was in the news.
Maybe it's
couple
the
weeks
same
ago.
woman.
Could have been. But you know, and you couldn't tell her because she wasn't doing anything wrong. This is not someone who was actually talking back to the stage or talking to her friend or rustling a bag of potato chips. She was literally just over enjoying the show. You know.
I laugh a lot during shows. Should I not laugh?
Oh well, if it's incredibly louder and more often than everybody else, it gets weird. You know, and it did, and it ruined. Maybe it didn't mean anything to anybody else. Or maybe everybody else was used to Broadway audiences.
People next to her were not happy.
Exactly, and I wasn't right next to her, but it was close enough that the experience of a show that I was kind of enjoying. I didn't dislike Into the Woods, but I also wasn't so bowled over by it, even if she weren't there. That would be, oh, this is so incredibly wonderful and genius with the giant boots. And
it's like, what do you say? Please stop enjoying yourself.
Exactly, you can't.
You're having too much enjoyment at this theater.
Yeah,
Like,
and I wasn't even close enough to her. So it's like, because there are times, the funny thing is sometimes there are times.
Can't you ask to like order stand?
Well, that was pretty full. It was a,
You can't just
yeah.
stand in the back.
That's not, so I'm gonna go all the way back, stand on my feet and watch a show. No,
I'm just trying to figure out what the options are.
but so that wasn't overall a fun experience. And then I suppose, and then there was the distaff version of 1776, where they did all the show, which was almost completely
you said
male.
It was
They did it with all. It was like a high school.
It was too
What? Yeah. What is the word? And also very. It talked down to the audience.
Just teach and you don't give
Didactic.
too didactic, right?
Yeah. And it was very sort of holier than that. It was like, hey, as if the writers of 1776 didn't realize that the northern states were hypocritical in dealing with the southern states about slavery and other issues. As if Peter Stone wasn't smart enough to lay in there very clearly the fact that, you know, New York is trading with the South, tobacco, rum, cotton, and it's like we're higher than you guys.
Yeah, but
no,
I
we
bet you like it maybe that they wrote it for not children, but for young audience who don't get subtlety.
Well, they didn't. No, they wrote it for grown-ups. They wrote it in 1969 or 7 or whatever year it came out.
Yeah, but maybe at that time you had to hit people over the head.
They didn't. That was the point. They didn't hit this production.
Oh.
The musical itself, which is also problematic because it's got some sucky songs in it, and some parts are great.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, it's like the director and the cast. Well, no, it wasn't shitty. It wasn't shitty. In history, American history, lots of happens. But I'm sitting there and I'm being like, some of this is working, some of this is not. And, oh, come on, really? Are you really going to lecture me?
It's not like you're being hit over the head too much.
Yeah. So having seen only those
So
things
that are running now that you'd like to see.
Well,
if you were a genie or you could teleport like in Star Trek, you could just go back and forth, what would you see?
I would see Tom Stoppard play Leopoldstadt.
When is it end?
Which is about Jews.
When does it end?
Like a couple of weeks. It's not going to be around in July, but I'll read it at some point, you know. I mean, I would see everything, but there are things that I know I would kind of enjoy, but I don't have no great. I don't want to see Anne Juliet. I'm sure it's great fun.
What is it? I don't know.
It's like a modernish sequel to Romeo and Juliet, where Juliet goes off and Well, they sent us the CD, which is very nice.
Yeah, they were talking about that on your pony show, I think.
You know, people weren't expecting to like it, and they said it's great fun. Okay, I'm sure it is. I'm not rushing to it. I'm sure I'm also gonna have to like have my fingers in the ears because it's too freaking loud the whole time, as most Broadway musicals are. And I'm mostly deaf in this ear. It's still, and there are shows that, from what I read about them and hear about them, I don't need to see the Neil Diamond Beautiful Noise, although I'm sure it's enjoyable. I don't need to see, my gosh, this is how out of the loop I am, and it was just the Tonys last week in terms of shows that I want to. I mean, I would like some like It Hot, I'm sure. And I've listened to a bit of the cast album. It's clever stuff. What else? Oh, Kimberly Akimbo, I want to see.
What's opening up what do you think's gonna come? What's the next wave? What's coming in fall?
As I asked David about this and a couple of other people on the Tony show, and they haven't.
Sure.
Yeah, and there hasn't been that much in terms of what's coming down the pike. A lot of times we know more earlier. Theaters of all things haven't closed. There haven't. Yeah. Well, that's the other reason that this is on my mind this particular week.
Why?
Is that I feel bad for kind of feeling absented and stepping away, and feel kind of good about ultimately doing a theater show last week when I wasn't planning to, because shit's going down with regional theaters in terms of, I mean, out of the blue, I mean, this is already, we're 2.5 years past the worst of the pandemic, right? There's March through August.
A lot of times people get, I'm writing about this in healthcare, there's some COVID funding. So people get boosted a little bit. So you may be failing, like your theater's like, well, we're not gonna make it. And then with COVID, they got a little bit of like funding to keep afloat.
More than a little, yeah.
And once that funding, once the money funding drops, then they're like, we are in worse shape because we assume we'd have an operating budget. We don't. Yeah.
So places like the Williamstown Theater Festival, which a couple of weeks ago in Massachusetts, Williamstown, been around forever. Yeah. I was saying, well, we're doing one show this weekend, not our usual weekend. One show this summer rather than our usual thing, and then pretty big news in well, yeah, I mean a summer season is their season. The Center Theater Group, which runs like the Mark Taper Forum, the Kirk Douglas Theater.
Oh, in New York.
No, Los Angeles. Okay. This is like it is the theater complex in LA. Yeah. And it's we're quote unquote, we have an $8 million shortfall, which they made up thanks to COVID money and other things. But beyond that, supposedly we don't have the funding for so they're pausing.
Debt. They don't have funding for debt.
Well, they paid that debt, but they don't have the money going forward to do more. So the problem, there's the issue.
But is it endowed by Kirk Douglas, did they? His name.
His name is on one of their smallest theater. It's not on the Taper.
No, but I was gonna. Did we see the guy who built the Taper? Who built that? We saw.
We were in, yeah.
See a documentary about the guy who built all those theaters. And when it's made.
Well, that was Gordon Davidson. Did we see? Was there a thing about Gordon Davidson? Might have been.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I met him.
So what's the news?
Well, the news is that they paused virtually all of their programming after June.
What does that mean?
It means they're not going to do a season next year. That's what they mean.
It's not pausing. It's like that means
they're using the word pause. Other people are using the word holy shit. They're
closing.
Stopped. I don't know if they're closing, but there's a question of when and how they will resume.
They need to do a lot of fundraising. Maybe they can get celebrities because it's California.
And they're in a tough spot because they're just in the midst of hiring a new artistic director. So they're in between stuff, and they
don't need an artistic director. They need to get a good grant writer, and they need to get some good fundraising people.
It's tough. It's tough between everything and
the artistic director is going to be the fundraiser.
No, that's a different kind of position. I mean, he has his thing in that, but usually a managing director or a co-artistic director or somebody else who's a creative person, wants some money.
They're going to need somebody to give them money. I mean, if you can't have a show, and LA, it's all the theater. I mean, maybe it's all because it's
LA is not a theater town, really. It's never been.
Kick in all those rich people out there. They should get somebody.
It takes millions
to run a place like that. Like, oh, you famous people ever acted in our theaters? Kick in, like.
They probably have been for years.
Oh.
It's think about the economics of theater. Think about when I was trying to do shows off Broadway, and I wanted to rent a theater to do 7 or 8 shows a week, and the theater rental was $2 grand. Not counting trying to publicize anything, not trying to buy props, not trying to do.
You had actors, you had to pay actors and wardrobe,
and a director and royalties if you were doing somebody else's play. And it's like
the union, right? You have to pay that.
Imagine if you have a 60-seat theater and your nut is $2 grand, and you're not famous, and you're not like you can't just pack something on your own name.
I think the Douglas family should help out.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure there are people like I'm not going to Beyonce or Taylor Swift or incredible movie stars who live in an unbelievable opulence,
Yeah.
who can write a check for $20 million with barely blinking.
Yeah,
And, right,
yeah.
but then you say, well, maybe I should do that for cancer. You know, what do
No,
you
but
do?
also then my thing is like, we used to always say this in the grant writing class, you can help somebody out of a bind, but if they don't have a model, like a business plan to keep themselves going, it's worse, because it's like somebody who could say, we once had somebody say, I want to donate a hospital building, right? And you think, oh, that's great.
You've got to
But-
fill it with doctors and
Yeah, so
equipment.
it's
Yeah.
great to have the hospital building and you build it, but you gotta pay everything else, and all those other things the system couldn't afford. So then you would actually be in a bind. I mean, I think, you know, there are a lot.
No,
of
that's a great
different
analogy.
things.
It's why, you know, when radio stations do fundraising drives, one of the, I never understood this thing of like matching grants. It's like,
Yeah.
just give the money. But there's this thing of like, well, wait a minute, you know, we'll give, absolutely, but we want to make sure you have the support. So we'll give up to
Yeah,
like $20,000. But as much as your
Yes.
listenerships match, so if they send in 18,
yeah.
we'll give you gladly, we'll give you 18 grand and you get another 18 from your people.
Because it's not just about like giving money, it's about sustainability.
Yeah.
That's the hard part for a lot of.
And the
a lot of
paradigm,
things, like, yeah, you get bailed out, but how are you gonna survive?
and the thing is, it's not just CTG, it's not just centers.
No.
Other, you know, people are waiting for other shoes to drop, including to, oh, and the Public Theater in New York stopped this program that they had called the Under the Radar Festival. Of course, I know the Public Theater.
I love it. Yeah, what happened?
Well, they among the many things they do is was a festival called Under the Radar for new avant-garde, BIPOC-ish kind of stuff. They've been doing it for a decade at least, I think.
They would just put on the plays, or they would support the artists?
No, they would, well, you support the artists by giving them this
Oh, yeah.
a full production of their plays, not perhaps on their Martinson main stage or something like that, but in a real
Black box.
theater, yeah, but a public theater black box is still a frickin'
Oh,
public
I did
theater,
not know
yeah.
that.
With full,
How many artists would they have? Probably 10, 5.
something like, well, yeah, no, it was a festival. So they have several things going on. And it would be, you know, unknownish people who might then go on to, you know, rise in the ranks of being known and doing things for Broadway and off Broadway, right? So they stopped the Under the Radar
They
Festival.
had a good pizza place near there. Was it Two Brothers or something?
Yeah.
They had a good pizza place.
Two boots or
Yes,
two,
it was
yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's sad.
It's interesting that we're talking about the theater thing, and it's not one play comes to your mind, but there was a pizza place.
No, I
This
would-
is how I am. Was it near a Mission Barbecue?
I would know more Worcester, or I would know more Russians that were off Broadway, but.
Yeah, that was near the Public Theater. That would have been
No.
literally that was Cocktail Rep over on Van Dam. And that was walkable to the public. It was over on that east side-ish area. But
But you know what? It's
Yeah.
better to cut a program than to cut production. So it's bad that that's happening. But like what they could do is take it virtual or something. It might have been cheaper. But if they have to cut something, they could make it every other year. They could,
they might,
you know,
yeah.
like you could, but that's to me a better strategy than saying like we're 8 million in hole, you know?
Well, yeah.
See?
But there's a lot of rethinking though. That's the point.
Yeah,
Especially post-pandemic. The old models people are looking at them going, can this work anymore? And this idea that a chunk of the audience, especially in LA and for the established theaters, is not 20 and 30 years old. It's still 60,
Is that the
70,
main audience?
80-year-old
Yeah.
white Jews, right? No, I mean, not all white, not all Jews, but
That's
yeah.
the core audience.
and if you alienate them because you do an entire season devoted to marginalize this, or they can't go because they don't want to wear masks, or they don't want to be around people because it's still the pandemic, or they've been sick and they just, you know, they're not up to it, or they're like, it's enough. I've been to the theater. I think there was, they kind of sloughed over this to get theater back on its feet. But I think there's this idea that they've lost more audience than they really want to admit. And Broadway doesn't really show it because Broadway keeps raising ticket prices.
And
So the
also,
hits stay
yeah,
hits.
Broadway's
Yeah.
different because it gets tourists.
Broadway gets tourists and people who want to see what they want to see. To them, somehow, the difference between $160 a ticket and $190 a ticket doesn't matter. You know, they're paying that much anyway.
It's like a birthday gift or a graduation.
So they go, and so they'll spend 30 minutes, they'll see one less play that
But
year.
what our friend told us, I don't know if this is true on Broadway,
Yeah,
probably not. This is true on like regional theater. Remember, he said the only model that a theater has to sustain itself is to have subscription.
there was a point when subscription fell by the wayside because they wanted new people coming in. They wanted, because when subscribers die,
Yeah, they
don't
gotta get new
replaced, or so there was this was many years ago. They thought, oh, subscription's the way. You get all the money up front.
Yeah.
People come no matter what you put on. I mean, you try to put on
Or
the
they
best thing you can.
They can decide which things like that you put on that they're gonna attend,
Yeah. And then theaters kind of moved away from
like
the
patronage.
subscription model because they weren't making enough money doing it, and now a lot of these theaters would be like, God damn, why did we get rid of the subscription model? So
It's a tough one.
yeah, and it's going to be
I don't
more
envy,
shoes
like,
dropping.
I
Yeah.
don't envy theater.
Hmm.
I mean, I would get, if it were me.
Yeah.
I would go to like Wall Street, or I would get like marketing, I would get people to assess like the audience, where they can get new audience, the theaters that are working, like they need to do a deep dive in terms of
Oh hell yeah.
like, how to.
Who's
which I'm sure
surviving
they're
and
doing.
why?
Yeah, which I'm sure they're doing, but
Who's struggling terribly and why? And
Yeah,
what are
yeah.
the surviving ones? How are they?
not work, like
Yeah.
you said, not what worked in the past, but. I mean, like the pandemic changed, we all work remote, everybody Zooms, everybody. So the engagement we have with things and the access to like, I mean, we could with like Broadway HD or whatever, we saw so much, like we have Netflix, we have so much more entertainment options. I think people have invested in more, so.
But theater survived radio, theater survived television,
Yeah,
which television should have killed theater.
Streaming.
Well, or cable, theater survived cable.
Yeah, but if the devil play is on this Disney.
You know what? The devil play isn't hurting. The devil play is still making $2 to $3 million a week. So that's not even. Everybody thought, oh my God, if you put Legally Blonde, the musical, on Disney's or whatever channel, and people watch it at home, they still won't. If you put Chicago, you make Chicago into a multi-million-dollar Oscar-winning movie. Nobody's going to go see Chicago on Broadway. Chicago's still running on Broadway, and it may last longer than Phantom.
They just need to get shows that people want to see. That's the ticket.
Yeah, but that was also probably a canary in the coal mine when Phantom closed. Phantom of the Opera. So after 30, I went to see Phantom of the Opera the week it was in previews when like Charles and Di were in the audience. I was there that night. Yeah, I mean, and it's like, I guess that chunk of the audience that was ritualistically coming, the 12-year-old bat mitzvah, whatever was coming from all over countries in the world when they stopped coming after the pandemic. I don't know. Yeah, or enough of it dried up that it wasn't worth. And also, you don't know. As soon as they said Phantom of the Opera is going to be closing, half a year before it closed, suddenly the grosses were back over $1 million. But it had not been for a decade. And so suddenly it's like, it's closing. We better go back. And
see, we lied.
Yeah, well, we're closing in 2028. Get your tickets now. But that was a clue. The idea that Phantom, which it was never like Phantom made no money.
Cats, right?
Well, Phantom was good. Cats sucked. Oh, and they're doing like an off-Broadway. They're bringing Cats back. First of all, they're bringing.
I would call it litter box.
Yeah, no, it's doing like a drag version. Already kind of was, but this sort of reimagined as a drag show thing. Cats downtown. Interest.
Is it at the Cat's Deli?
If they did Cats at Katz's.
Yes.
When like somebody's shaking his tail in my face, I'm talking about this comedy.
I wanted a hamster.
Coleslaw, you did not give me coleslaw. And the brisket is fatty. What's the matter with you? I want a good sandwich. I come here every week of my life. Go remake it. And here's an extra $1. That's
That'd be cool. I get your ticket, right?
Magical Mr. Matzo Ballies.
I would love it, yeah.
That makes no sense at all. It just
Yes, Elliot would roll in his grave.
yeah, probably was. Anywho, so that's what's happening. And I should call that segment Inside Broadway because we've just been talking theater. But it's a weird, it's a scary, not scary, but it's a time that people have looked the other way from because we were just so happy that theater didn't crash and burn post-pandemic. That people went back, that Broadway made 30 million.
So successful, who are the successful?
I'm not so in tune with regional theaters to know who's like rolling along okay, you know? And there's also this sense of like what is happening in Pasadena Playhouse in California. All right, well,
are they doing okay?
Not sure. Honestly, not sure. I don't know what if a Tony Award's gonna make that big a difference to them in their bottom line.
They'd be getting funding.
That does not hurt to put on a grant application. We are the Pasadena. We were the 2023 American Theater Critics Association Choice, as told to the Tony Awards. Yeah, well,
that's like good.
Ain't bad.
Ooh.
Speaking of awards, thank you to my publisher, my editor.
Oh, I don't have the picture.
At Long Island Woman. It's on my Facebook page. Just like scroll down. To my editor, Ari Nadboy at Long Island Woman magazine, where I've been writing for well over a decade. And he's very cool. He sends me out 2 or 3 times a year to do cover stories in print. This is an actual publication with real high level female celebrities of a certain age or older. And I've done them and occasionally gotten like recognized for them. And just yesterday, Ari told me or sent me proof or documentation that I came in second, not first, but not third either. I came in second in the Long Island Press Club's one of their many categories for feature writing for a piece I did interviewing singer Gloria Gaynor, the woman who did I Will Survive. I interviewed her a few months ago, wrote it up. She was really open and great about speaking her life story. I also read her memoir thing and turned that into a 2,000-something word article that ran in Long Island Woman, a cover story. And you can read it by going to davelefkowitz.org. I wish I could send you to read it on Long Island Woman, but their website, they don't actually keep the, it's not like you can just go to longislandwoman.com. Yeah, no, they don't do that. They take their issues, they photo or scan them, JPEG them, and you can read them as issues on this other site called issu.com or isuu.com. But here's the cover. Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the cover of the issue with my story in it. Yeah. Little Gloria, happy at last. And I'm very happy because I came in second. I'll probably get one of those loose site award things in the mail again.
The joke was everybody won was named Dave or David.
Yes, I lost.
I can find the thing.
To a story by a guy in this newspaper, a free newspaper that goes to college campuses all over New York. And this writer named David Payon, he did a nice job of a mother and a daughter who do cosplay together. I read the article. It's pretty good. It's nice because it's like a Gaynor piece. I didn't read the third essay. I'm hoping it's not better than mine, because then I would feel bad about that. But read my piece, Gloria Gaynor. It's a good piece. Here's the first page of my actual article. Yeah, Ari knows how to design. Yeah, he does a nice job designing things. And look for in a couple of weeks my Belinda Carlisle interview. Oh, there's more. There's more.
What's your name?
Yeah. Well, it's proof that I actually wrote it, which I did. So I did not use ChatGPT for any part of the Gloria Gaynor article. It's hard to with a light there. I can, if I hold it up long enough, you can probably read it on the computer. And there's my name up in the upper. So anyway, so thank you, Ari, for letting me know that, and thank you to the Long Island Press Club for giving me a silver media award for my Gloria Gaynor piece. Yay.
Oh,
Happy about that.
no.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be happier if I got a first. I never get a first there, I don't think.
I think you got, what was Sherry,
I got Sherry Sheward, I got something. My Lily Tomlin article won something. I think I once placed first for a headline, which
oh,
I think that one I wrote. A lot of the times Ari changes my headlines there, but anyway, it was a happy week. It was also a very happy week because where is he? Where is he?
what?
I thought I brought him up to show.
Oh,
My cousins, Cynthia
is
and
he?
Jeffrey Kirsch
where
Sheward.
is he?
And that's what I'm wondering. He was in the bathroom.
Yeah, where'd he go?
Check the shade.
Check the shade.
Check the
No,
shades.
no, he's not in the bathroom.
Oh, because I was going to bring him in to show. I don't know. Where'd he go? Maybe we'll try and find him. We will try and find. Check my office. Maybe I put him on my desk. Please. Where?
Dude, I can't find him.
Oh no. He's somewhere. We'll find him. I promise. I can't leave this spot for obvious reasons. But oh yeah, the paper. You can bring the paper in. That's pretty funny. I don't know where he went. This is fact. But my cousins, the thing I don't understand about this, Jeffrey and Cynthia, who have played our Today Yesterday quiz several times, they're really great. They moved out to Las Vegas, and I guess well, and they know the show. They've been watching the show for several years now, and they know my predilection and my love of potatoes, in a manner of speaking. You found him? Where was he? Okay. Oh, really? Yeah. So they, Cynthia was I guess in a store, or maybe she found this on her shelf or something. But they wrote to me earlier in the week and they said, "Where was he? Where was he?"
Don't ask.
Oh dear. Okay,
Got
I got
him?
him. I got him. I got him. So no, but I need the paper too. Where are you going with that? I want to show that. That's the fun part too. They got for me. They found this. She found this, I guess, an ornament that is deliberately shaped, carved ceramically like a potato. And I said, we should send this to Dave. So they boxed it up and they actually did this. They actually sent me this. And notice, this is so authentic. Greetings from Idaho. So it's a hollow out. I don't know if it was supposed to be like a, maybe it's a
No, it's an ornament.
it's just an ornament. Because it's got.
Can I look it up? You can.
No, please do. It says greetings from Idaho. And it's got, I don't know what it looks like. The face is kind of a cross between like Randy Newman and Ossie Davis Jr. It's got the hangy part. And aside from the fact that I love it because it's a potato and because they thought of me and because it's a potato. But this is the thing that freaks me out. This is the thing that I find like, because my cousin sent this to me wrapped in old newspaper. And I saw this, I was like, wow, that doesn't look like it's from last week. Whenever they bought this or found this, whatever, they wrapped this in something. And I saw, and I recognized this paper. It was Newsday. Yeah. Are there more of them? That's kind of him. Yeah.
Except this one's smiling.
Oh, well, he's sort of smiling, sort of. Yeah, he is. In a nighttime-y kind of a way. Isn't he lovely? So I look, and I know that it's Newsday, so it's going to be on the side.
Yours is.
But
So yours is not smiling as cute as this.
Oh, mine. You think this one's cuter? Hold on. Yeah, right. He's got a sort of a more natural. This is very different. It's a same idea-ish.
Yeah.
He almost looks like he's carved out of wood or
it's the same
balsa
thing.
or coconut.
Ceramic Santa potato, that's what it is.
That's what it is. This is a ceramic Santa. Now,
Oh,
this
one has a thing in the back, handcrafted in Idaho.
Oh, this just says greetings from Idaho. I think I like mine better. Yay.
Cowboy expression.
is what? Greetings from Idaho? All right. Do they have cowboys in Idaho? Anyway, check this out. I don't know why my cousins have newspaper. Well, because when they were moving, I guess, but I don't know if they're hoarders or what. I don't think so. This is from December 8th, 2010. The Lids brothers will have a newspaper from 2010. Just
There's nothing like that.
he might be brand new. She might have found them like in a Hallmark store.
The
Or
only ones that
come on. So are you looking for potato ornament or greetings from Idaho? It's unique.
The only one that we found, yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. This I may have. Thank you to the Shubes, the Kirsch Shubes, or Shub Kirsches for this.
Yeah, and this doesn't say greetings from Idaho on it.
Yeah, no, this is I get the best present. Ronald Rand sends me my face painted on a rock.
And remember what's his face used to make all those things for you?
Oh, and of course, Stan Reisler, who would
Make like a graphic.
who would do Photoshop my head onto various things. I get, other people, when the Beatles said that they liked jelly babies, like these sweet candies, girls sent them millions when they said, please stop sending us jelly babies. Other people, Donald Trump gets money for his legal fund and his get out of jail fund and whatever. Me, I get this. I get this.
There's gotta be business say greetings from Idaho. There's gotta be more than one.
Well, meanwhile, I've got to get ready now to get Rabbi Saul Solomon into the Daverhood because he's going to be interviewing big band singer.
The rabbi would want tea.
Yeah, that'd be very nice. Big band singer. In fact, you can probably spill this. Use this mug.
No, I gotta use one with the cover.
Oh,
Okay,
right. Rabbi Saul will be interviewing Steve Maglio. Steven Maglio is going to be in a couple of different places. Every Saturday, he plays the Carnegie Room and sings and does Sinatra style and old school. What do they call it? Tin Pan Alley.
Ska. Rap.
The opposite, I'm afraid. But the old school classic American song.
He does a lot of shooby dooby doing.
He probably doesn't. If he does Strangers in the Night, he might very well. But this particular Tuesday, he's going to be at the Cutting Room over on East 32nd Street with a big band, big show with like 12-piece band doing what he does. He's Steven Maglio. So he's going to talk about his life, his career, of course, Sinatra and all that sort of thing. So yes, remember Saturdays with Sinatra, the TV show, or the radio show with Sid Mark? Well, I'm more like Skid Mark, but that's a little joke there, right? Little Skid Marky joke. Anyway, Rabbi Saul, Steven Maglio, coming into the Daverhood as we speak. Now, of course, I can't play anything by Sinatra or even if there's a copyright. We can do it to maybe this. Let's play it. No, not this. No, don't like that. Let me get there. Hate this fucking song. Here we go. There we go. Oh, shalom, shalom, my cats and kittens, all you crazy, cool, groovy kids out there. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, the founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And I am thrilled and delighted this Saturday Shabbos morning to be talking to someone who likes the old school stuff, the classic great American songbook, Tin Pan Alley, or in my case, Tin Can Alley, songs that people like Tony Bennett and Sarah Vaughan and Vic Damone and Perry Como made famous, including most of all, Frank Sinatra, the chairman of the board, the old Blue Eyes himself. Well, obviously we don't have our guest either because he was here and now I don't see him. Please come back. Where the hell are you? Come back! Come back, damn it. Let's see if he's trying to log on. Hello?
Hello.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Coming, now I hear you and now I even see you.
And now you see me. Okay, good. There we go.
So coming to the Daverhood right now is a man who isn't impersonating or channeling the great old Blue Eyes himself, Frank Sinatra, but a man who sings the songs of that era in a style that will make you think that you're sitting in the Copa or the Stork Club with your girlfriend, maybe smacking her around a little bit if she gives you some lip. Ladies and gentlemen, and between his lips would be a cigar. Won't you please welcome to the Daverhood, a man who has played Tavern on the Green, the Rainbow Room, the Sands Hotel, played in hotels from Ecuador to Brazil, Steven Maglio. Shalom, Steven, hello.
Shalom. Thank you so much for having me today.
You're very, very welcome, and shalom to you. So I noticed you have a World War II picture that's autographed by somebody. Was that the guy who put the flag there, or what is that?
Yes, that was, I do benefits for a group called Warrior Shield. And what they do is we get a lot of guys come back from the military with PTSD and they go to see psychiatrists, and right away the psychiatrists put them on drugs and they wind up becoming addicted. Sorry, That's my reminder that I have to come on the video. So so what this organization does is they hook these guys up with people to teach them yoga and meditation and things like that so that they can get over their problem without having to take the drugs. And now they've expanded it to include first responders. So we're getting police organizations involved, the fire departments and everything.
Rabbis, we have PTSD too. Just from dealing with Hebrew school kids. It's
there you go.
But who signed? But that looks like it's got writing all over.
Yeah, this was one of the events that we did. It's signed by a lot of the people that were involved with the organization.
That's nice. And is that a fighter behind you, or who's that on your who's over on your left shoulder? Who that? In the black and white photo. Lower. Yeah.
That's Gary Sparks. He's a featherweight champion in New York. He comes to see my show at the Carnegie Club all the time.
But now the Carnegie Club, I never knew, literally until this week, I had no idea this existed. I knew from Carnegie Hall, Zankel Hall, places like that. Where the hell is this Carnegie Club? And you can apparently smoke there?
Yeah, the Carnegie Club, it's not a private club. It's open to the public. It's on West 56th Street. It's across from the back wall of Carnegie Hall.
All right.
You look at the front of the Carnegie Club, you're seeing the back of Carnegie Hall, the back of the Russian tea room.
Oh, all right.
All right. And it's like I said, it's open to the public, and it's one of the few places in New York where you're still allowed to smoke cigars and cigarettes indoors legally. And every Saturday we have an 11-piece big band, and I sing all the Sinatra stuff. We've been doing it every Saturday for the past 18 years, the same songs, the same jokes, the same show every week, and we sell out virtually every week.
Now, let me ask you, as a singer, as someone who has to tell jokes and be on stage, you're in a room, there people are probably smoking not just cigars, but cigarettes, maybe the occasional pipe. How do you, doesn't it affect you?
No, I'm an ex-cigarette smoker, so I go there once a week to get my fix. I just enjoy inhaling it, I do have one tuxedo that I wear only to the Carnegie Club because it smells, and I can't put it in my closet. I have it in the bathroom hanging outside the shower stall. It never goes in the closet.
Wow, because everybody else would stink up. Well, do you ever get it cleaned? I guess you could bring it to the cleaners.
I have it cleaned, but the smell is just in there. It doesn't come out. When my wife comes with me to the show, we come home, the first thing she does is wash her hair to get the smell out. Yeah.
So why did you give up ciggies if you liked them?
Because I couldn't smoke and sing. I tried it, and I couldn't get the breath control. I had to. because I loved my cigarettes. I still miss them every day, but I love singing more. And that's
Now, how come it didn't affect Frankie? Because I'm sure, he was known for, the
he
cocktail.
was known, but if you notice, see him in the movies and anything, he didn't fully inhale. He would take a drag and then he'd let half the smoke come out
It's
before
like
he
President
inhaled.
Clinton. Yeah,
Right.
right. He didn't- Yeah.
And he did when he was going to do a big show, like if he was going to do Carnegie Hall, if he was going to do Radio City, or if he was going to do a recording, he would lay off the cigarettes for about 4 or 5 days before, just to loosen up.
So at what point did you realize not only that you wanted to sing, but that you specifically were going to be in the mode of Frank?
When I was 8 years old, I realized I fell in love with Frank, and I knew that's what I wanted to do, but I was microphone shy. I could get up at a party with a group of friends where everybody's singing, grab a spoon off the table and sing into the spoon, that kind of thing. I could do that, but to get up to a microphone and perform, I couldn't. And then finally, when I was 35 years old, I said, if I never start taking lessons and take a chance, I'm going to be 80 years old one day and I'm going to kick myself that I didn't at least try. So I started taking the lessons for 8 years, didn't tell anybody.
Wow.
I had, at the time, an aluminum awning company in New Jersey. And so I would go a half-hour lesson every Saturday morning and then rehearse in my office.
Right, yeah.
And so nobody knew for 8 years. Then one night, my wife and I were in a restaurant and they had karaoke. So I said, I'm going to get up and sing a song. And she didn't think anything of it. So I got up, I sang a song, and I came off this stage literally shaking like this. I was petrified. But what I didn't know,
when you were done, you were still petrified.
I was petrified.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that it was a contest. I wound up winning first prize. So that gave me confidence.
That would. And did your wife even not know that you were?
Now, at that point, now we're driving home. My wife was so excited. She told me how proud she is that I won the contest and all. So now I felt like I was making a fool out of her. So I said, no, I got to come clean. I got to tell you, I didn't do this by myself. I've been taking lessons for the past 8 years.
What song?
To which she said,
yeah,
what the hell else you been doing for the past 8 years? I don't know about, so I got a little bit of an argument there. But then I said, I want to start getting used to being in front of people. So we started going to different karaoke bars and I noticed I was getting a nice reaction. And after about a year of that, I called a friend of mine who's a saxophone player, John Ruda from Howard Beach. And I said, I'm doing the karaoke thing, but I want to sing with real musicians. If you know a little trio or quartet that's looking for a singer, see if you could hook me up. He said, all right, I'll keep my ears open. He said, but in the meantime, I'm playing saxophone with a group called Joe Battaglia and the New York Big Band. And we rehearse on Wednesday nights. Sometimes Joe will let people come in and sing so that the band can rehearse the vocal charts. He said, come to the rehearsal this week. So I went to the rehearsal. I sang a couple of songs. Joe liked me and he asked me to join the group. And I made my debut, my professional debut with a 17-piece big band at Tavern on the Green.
Wow. Let me ask you a couple of quick questions. First of all, I want to know the song that you sang that won the award. The one you that karaoke.
My Kind of Town. My Kind of Town was the first song that I heard that turned me on to Frank when I was 8 years old. And it was the song that I sang at the karaoke night.
That was from Guys and Dolls, right? The Frank Lesser?
No, that was from Robin and the Seven Hoods. Must Be a Lady was from Guys and Dolls.
Sure. Well, I should know this. Let me ask you also then.
And while we're at it, I'm looking at the calendar here. Monday, the 19th, will make 21 years since I made that debut at Tavern on the Green.
So I'm curious about when you have a 17-piece band, how do you rehearse in the sense of, do you actually have a mic and an amp?
Oh,
so
yeah.
you can hear yourself, because otherwise,
absolutely. You'll hurt yourself trying to sing over the band. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you
have to know what you're going to sound like.
A monitor that you can hear, and So, and then with the Battaglia thing, you've been at where for how long? Have you been?
I was with Joe for about 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Carnegie Club thing came up because I had somebody else doing the show at the Carnegie Club, and he needed to take some time off, so they brought me in to replace him, and they kept me. But the thing is, it's different with the big band. When you're singing in big band fashion, the singer is just another instrument in the orchestra. He's not a headliner. You're sitting in a chair on the side, sitting up straight back, look at it. And when it comes time for you to sing, you get up, you go to the microphone stays on the stand, and you sing your song, and then you get back and you sit back down again. That's it. No joking around, no nothing. With Carnegie Club, this was going to be a nightclub show. So now I could have a drink in my hand. I could tell jokes. I could talk. And that's what I really wanted to do, So,
give me one example. What is a joke that you tell in the show that Sinatra would have possibly told?
one of my favorites is actually a Joey Lewis joke. If you remember Joey Lewis, a great nightclub comedian, was very close friends with Frank. As a matter of fact, Frank made the movie The Joker is Wild, was the life story of Joey Lewis. And that was the movie that the song All the Way was written for, won an Academy Award. But one of the jokes that Joe told, that Frank told in the movie, he said, a man never knows what true happiness is until he gets married. And then it's too late. That's one of my favorites. Yeah, I like that one. It never fails to get a laugh.
It's my sign machine for this.
Oh, there you go.
But that is pretty good. So let me ask you then, why? I mean, you're also making the choice not to change your Carnegie show in any way. I mean, literally not like take one song out, put a different song in, change it back, because you know what works. But how do you keep from getting bored after 18 years?
Well, that's it. I don't, because I just love the show and I love the people. The Carnegie Club show, we keep, because it's a smoking club, we keep a barroom atmosphere. So it never really gets completely dark like a regular nightclub. It never, if some people are talking, we don't want them to get too rambunctious, but we allow a little bit of talking. You have to have the barroom feel to it. So people will come up to me after the show, because when the show's over, I'm at the bar hanging out with everybody else. And they'll say, like, I wanted to hear Summer Wind. I didn't hear you do Summer Wind. And I said, well, that's in the first show. You got to come for the first show to hear Summer Wind. So now if I change it, the guy's going to come back the next week to hear for the first show to hear Summer Wind. That's not going to be there. Now it's in the second show. So it's better just to keep it the same, and everybody can tell their friends about it and they know what to expect when they come.
Now, how often do you get, as far as you can tell, I don't know how big the room is, regular, people come every month or just repeat.
We have some people that come every week. We have about a half a dozen people that are there every single week.
And how many people did they, bury in a thing in New Jersey with cement shoes? Can you ever tell?
That we don't know. That we don't know.
So have you ever heard from Sinatra's offspring or family, like Nancy, well, she's gone, I think, but
no, Nancy's not gone. Frank Jr. died.
Frank Jr.
Nancy and Tina are still alive.
Oh, yeah.
I never met them. I never met the kids. I met Nancy's daughter, AJ, a couple of times, because she used to live in New York City. So I ran into her at Patsy's restaurant a couple of times. We have the celebration for Frank's birthday every year. So I ran into her there a few years, but now she moved out to California. She got married. She moved to California, so I don't see her anymore. Dean Martin's daughter, I'm very close friends with. I don't know if you can see the
was that Deanna Martin? I used to get press.
Dina Martin. You can see the picture here? Let me see.
Yeah.
That's Dina. I'm very close friends with her. We just did Atlantic City together in December.
Oh my goodness.
We're at resorts together.
So does she tell you stories about her dad?
Well, during the show, she tells all the stories about her dad, and she wrote a book. So, there's plenty out there to read about. And she loved her father, and he was the same. She says he was the same guy you saw on TV that everybody knows and loves. That's the way he was in real life.
Now, let me ask you this about the Sinatra legacy. I mean, I assume the show is just about the music and a couple of jokes. You don't go into his life and the women and all of that.
No, we don't go into that.
Right.
I patterned the show after the Live at the Sands album. I wanted it to be fun, but I didn't want it to be like a classroom where you say, well, this was written by this guy and arranged by that guy. I don't want people to feel like they're getting a history lesson. I want them just to have a few laughs and some fun. And that's the way it rolls.
So how is your Carnegie show different from what you're doing or is it the same that you're doing at Pangea?
It is
Tuesday.
We're going to be at the Cutting Room.
Oh, Wednesday, June 21st at the Cutting Room.
21st at the Cutting Room.
Yeah.
And it's going to be as opposite as I can make. Aside from the fact that I'm going to have a tuxedo on, it's going to be as opposite as I can make it.
Like?
At the Carnegie, because people come up to me after the Carnegie Club show sometimes. They say, I want to bring my mother, my father, my brother, my dad, and they can't be around the smoke. When are you going to be someplace where there's no smoking? And the Carnegie Club doesn't serve dinner. They serve appetizers and drinks. So they said, we're going to be a place where we could have dinner. Or they'll say, I love the way you do the Sinatra stuff, but don't you ever sing anything else?
Oh, here in
Oh.
cutting room, you will. You're going to
Right,
add.
so
Yeah.
This show is going to be called Not Just Sinatra. It's going to be half Sinatra songs, and the other half of the show is going to be songs by Dean, Sammy, Tony Bennett, Nat King Cole, Bobby Darin, that kind of thing. So the people that want to hear me sing Sinatra will hear me sing Sinatra, but not just Sinatra. So
you're going to do Mac the Knife, I'll bet, or is that
that's going to be in the first show. Yep.
What else? What are some of the other non-Sinatra numbers?
Non-Sinatra songs we'll be doing.
Like what? Like what else? What?
Bad Leroy Brown. Frank recorded that song.
Not expecting
got a big band shot for it. King of the Road. Dean Martin used to do King of the Road. Steve Lawrence, Room Without Windows, a great song. So we're gonna be mixing it up. Billy Joel gonna do a Billy Joel song.
Oh my goodness!
So,
wow.
Yeah. So we're gonna mix it up nice. And the thing is now we're getting a good turnout for opening night on June 21st. So we're gonna start doing it once a month.
Oh, I did not know that. That was a scoop. I have a scoop.
We're going to make a second residency out of it. So it's going to be once a month, and every month this show will change. I'm sure we'll keep My Way in New York in every show, but the other songs will change them. We'll rotate them. We're going to put some new things in, take some old things out. And so you could come every month and never see the same show twice.
And does that appeal to your creativity? Now you have an outlet where you can say, I've always wanted to do this and that.
That's it. It makes everything totally different. So now Carnegie Club is the same show every week. This is going to be a different show every month. Carnegie, you could smoke. Here you can't smoke. Carnegie, you can't have dinner. Here you can have dinner. Carnegie Club is a 11-piece band. This is going to be a 12-piece band with a conductor.
Oh my goodness. So, yeah.
Carnegie Club is just me. Here, the cutting room, we're going to have a comedian to open the show. So it's going to be as different as we could make it, so that it's a whole new experience. So we don't want everybody to say, oh, it's just another one of those Sinatra shows. No, we got to change it and make it fresh.
Now, I'm curious about how this kind of thing works also in the sense of the economics of it. Because, you're talking about 12 pieces and a conductor and you singing. Right. So is it like you get a big paycheck from the place and then you have to distribute it? Or do you put the whole package together and you charge a thing? Or is it, how do you make a living and how do you put on a show with 12, Broadway shows can't have 12 acts in them.
That's it. Everybody said, we want to go back to the old days of the Copacabana when they had the big band and all the stuff and everything, but nobody wants to put it on because it's expensive and you got to charge an expensive ticket for it, but we're doing it.
In other words, are you paid up front and then you give money to all these people, or who produces? How does it work?
The club is working with me on that. There's nothing up front. We're just pushing as hard as we can to sell as many tickets as we can, and then we split it up.
And how much? I'm really, really curious. So you don't have to tell me your actual set, but like a horn player, what do they get for a gig like this?
I can't. Yeah, I can't say that. There's different things for. Yeah, it depends on the exact gig, the amount of time, the amount of the songs. I
was just curious.
There's a lot involved in that.
Because it's enough for one person to get up with a piano and these Don't Tell Mama, and they're paying this and this costs this and you got to pay for that.
And every place pays differently. There's no.
The cutting room does pretty. I'm hoping the cutting room does very well by you guys. So you don't need the aluminum store anymore.
Oh no, that's gone a long time.
So this is your full-time and has been
my full-time job since 2004. When I started working at the Carnegie Club, I gave the other business up.
Now, what is your wife? How did you meet your wife, and what does your wife do?
My wife's a homemaker. We actually had a class together in high school. And then we re-met a few years later and started dating and got married. We're married 38 years now.
And when you say homemaker, do you have
4 grown children, 5 grandchildren. She just left a little while ago. There's a birthday party, a 2-year-old birthday party for one of my grandchildren. So I'm going to be going over and joining them later. So.
Are you Italian? I want to check this out.
100%.
So how is that?
Neapolitan.
Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah.
So you're chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. But let me ask you this. How does that influence you? I guess you're a Catholic, I'm guessing. So how does the religion and the Italianness influence your thought process, your day-to-day life? And you might not know this, I'm Jewish. So that comes out in my humor, my everything. How does Italian-ness, Neapolitan-ness come out in you?
I don't think about it. It's just there. But a lot of people tell me that they think the Rat Pack swagger that you have on stage comes from being Italian. Because Frank and Dean were Italian, Bobby Darin was Italian, and they had that. And so seeing that, and I don't copy it, but I think I just kind of picked up on it the same way I picked up mannerisms from my father and my older brothers and everything. Just from watching all those years, I think I picked it up and it just became part of me. And I think that swagger has something to do with being Italian.
Even the hand
It's not
motion.
something you can teach. You have to absorb it as you're growing up. It's not something you can learn.
Now, a casting director must have picked up on this because you were almost in, apparently, the Martin Scorsese 12-hour film, The Irishman.
Yeah.
I
Well,
hope that were cut from it.
I was in, but my scene got cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 3.5 hours. What, did it actually cut anything? But so what was your scene? Who were you?
You'd be surprised because Martin Scorsese is known for doing everything like 25 takes. And then he'll figure out which one he wants when he gets in the editing room. So there's a lot of footage to go through when he makes a movie.
So what scene?
The scene was supposed to be in the Copacabana with Joe Gallo and what's his name? Jim Norton, the comedian, was playing Don Rickles, supposed to be in the Copacabana. He played Don Rickles. And I was supposed to be in that scene, but my part wound up, getting cut out.
Do you have the footage? Did they give you that, or
No,
you just
no,
it's on the tongue?
no,
No. So,
but I was in a couple other movies. I was in some independent stuff, and I always get hired. And when the independent movies, they have small budgets, so they usually hire me because they want me to be a singer and they want me to bring my own tuxedo, so this way they don't have to get a tuxedo.
Well, the joke's on them because you bring the smelly one. And all the records tell you. Yeah.
One time I was doing a thing and I was supposed to have a hat and I was supposed to use a bathrobe. And when I went to put the bathrobe on, I noticed a tag on the cuff. And I say, I need a scissor. I got to cut this tag off. And the director said, no, don't cut the tag off. We got to bring it back to the store tomorrow. The budget was so low. They just bought it. We're going to use it. And then we're going to return it.
Wow, that is independent filmmaking.
That's a low budget picture.
So, but do you have any stories from working on, whether you did a day or two with Scorsese, any Scorsese stories, any stories about Jim Norton, any stories about De Niro?
No, I was only there for the one day, and there was so many people involved in that scene because it was supposed to be the Copacabana, which it was actually filmed in Gotham Comedy Club.
Oh yeah,
the actual room that they used. But there was so many people involved in that scene that I couldn't. One of the guys though was a friend. In the scene with me was a friend of mine, Nick Kryson. He played Crazy Joe Gallo's bodyguard.
Oh, all right.
And he got a lot of screen time. And my cousin, I have a cousin who has the same name as me, Steven Maglio. He was in a scene with Joe Pesci. So even though I didn't appear in the movie, my name appears in the credits twice. Once for me and once for my cousin.
And nobody knows.
People were calling me and said, "We're looking for you in the movie. Where were you?" And I got cut out, but because I was considered a principal, they kept my name in the credits in the title.
Were you in something with Danny DeVito? Do you know him, or did you write a song for him?
Danny DeVito. Years ago, I knew. I was working with a piano player, and he knew somebody that was in the liquor business. He was a liquor importer, and this guy's gimmick was that he would put celebrity names on his alcohols. He had a Johnny Bench Scotch, was a 5-year-old Scotch, so it was number 5. He had Johnny Bench today. He had a Duke Ellington Cognac. He had Wendy Williams doing a champagne for him.
So he got permission.
He got permission, and they were involved in the promotions.
Yeah.
So one day, this guy is watching The View, and Danny DeVito came on drunk. And he said that he was drunk because he was up all night drinking limoncello with George Clooney. So this importer got in touch with Danny DeVito. And he said, how about you and I get together? We'll make a brand of limoncello, Danny DeVito limoncello. He said, I'll import it from Sorrento, Italy, and we'll put it. And so they did. So we were going to go to the liquor convention to perform for them. And he said, he said to my piano player, you should come up with a jingle or something for the thing. So the piano player wrote the main jingle, and I rewrote some of it. I put a different ending on it. And then our drummer has a recording studio, so he recorded it and put some extra instrumentation into it. And when Danny heard it, he loved it. So it became the limoncello song.
I
And if
don't
you
think
go
we'll
on
have a copy.
YouTube,
Yeah,
if you go on YouTube or even on my website, the videos page is stevenmaglio.com, there is a video of the first time I sang it to Danny and Rhea Perlman. We were me and the piano player and the drummer were at the Dolphin Hotel in Disneyland. We were there to do something for the liquor convention. And I have my glasses on and I'm reading it off the paper because I thought once we recorded it, we were just going to use the recording. I don't have to learn the words. So I didn't even know the words. So I'm reading it off the paper while because they wanted us to sing it live. So that was a cute thing.
and that
Danny-
video is
Danny's
that's
great.
so cool. That is.
It
Do
was,
you-
it was a limited edition thing. You can't get it anymore. It was just for a short period of time. But
But-
it was a lot of fun being with him. You know, he was good.
Well, we are
And Rhea Perlman too.
a lot of fun talking with Steven Maglio. You're going to have even more fun if you go to any one or all three or four of these things. First of all, like tonight, you're doing the two shows at the Carnegie, right?
Carnegie Club tonight. Yep.
What times are those? When are those?
8 o'clock and 10:30.
You have an 8 o'clock show at 10. They're
And they're
both
different. The Carnegie Club, the first show and the second show are different songs. So we get a lot of people that come for the first show and then they'll stay for the second one. If you can make a reservation for two shows, you can stay.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Or the beginning of your residency, monthly residency on Wednesday night, you're going to be at the Cutting Room, which is over on 44 East 32nd Street. The
Right.
show is called Not Just Sinatra. You got the big band at 12 pieces.
12 pieces
You
with
just
the
have a-
conductor, with the conductor.
With a conductor yet.
Yeah.
They just throw the barrel at this. Well, for more information about all of this, go to his website, StevenMaglio.com. And it's Steven with a V, Steven, Maglio, StevenMaglio.com to get your tickets to go. So again, if you have an emphysema thing, if you don't like smoke, stay away from the Carnegie, go to the Cutting Room. If you love smoke, you want to have a sit back, have maybe a cigar, a little, is weed okay?
No, as a matter of fact, I used to joke around. People was here smoking. They say, "Oh yeah, what can I smoke there?" And I used to say you could smoke anything that's legal in the state of New York. But now I can't say that anymore. I had to change that.
Oh, so now you-
That's cigars and cigarettes, yeah.
Well,
Because
how come
they
actually?
made
If it's
marijuana legal. So
state legal, how come they say no? Why is it not allowed then? If it's state legal,
well, we don't want anybody smoking marijuana in a closed atmosphere because it's going to affect other people.
yeah,
You know.
Get a contact high, does that happen?
Yeah, absolutely, sure.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, don't you walk down the streets in Manhattan? That's all you smell. It's terrible.
Well, I see those trucks.
It doesn't smell. As a kid in high school, it smelled nice. Now it smells like skunks.
It's like oregano dying on the vine.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. It smells like garbage.
Anywho,
Yeah.
but to happier subjects. Let me ask you a question, Steven Maglio. Do you listen to any contemporary music, or do you say? I mean, just for fun. Like, do you listen to pop of the 20 or other jazz or?
Oh yeah, I listen to that kind of stuff. I don't listen to the stuff that's out now, like the rap and the hip hop and all that kind of stuff. I can't
But
relate.
what about rock and roll from?
Absolutely, all the oldies I love. Some disco. Wasn't really a disco kid. I like some of it. As a matter of fact, that we're going to be doing an Engelbert Humperdinck song in the show. That's got
It's not rock or
got a
disco.
little disco
Engelbert
feel to
Humperdinck.
it, though. Yeah.
Ah.
So it's so yeah, I like other things. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, I get the idea that song, I forget which one it was that you won the contest with and that you first heard when you were
My
8.
Chinatown.
Is your
Chicago,
favorite
my
song-
Chinatown. Yeah.
Favorite Sinatra song of all time, is that it?
No.
It is.
I can't really pick on one. I tell people it would be hard for me to pick the top 20 because there's so many. And it changes. I'll hear a song today and I'll say, I think that's my favorite Sinatra song. And then the next day I'll hear another one and I'll say, no, I think I like this one better. It keeps changing. So
Well, let me ask you, do you have a favorite Sinatra era or time? Like, was it the young crooner? Was it the 1950s kind of, or the battled and bruised
I
1970s?
prefer the early 60s, that Sinatra Live at the Sands, Count Basie era is my favorite.
The Mason.
Quincy
So
Jones,
it's
Basie
post.
style.
Not Gordon Jenkins, who was his arranger, and they
Quincy
changed.
Jones. Quincy
Oh.
Jones at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. During the 50s, it was Nelson Riddle and Billy May.
Nelson Riddle.
They pretty much stayed with them all along. And then later on, late 60s, early 70s was Don Costa, did a lot. Gordon Jenkins did a lot of the big production numbers.
Hmm.
And in his early days, when he first left Tommy Dorsey, Axel Stordahl was with him a lot.
And that's an ad name.
So, yeah, Axel Stordahl was with him in the Columbia years, the late 40s, early 50s, you know. But then when Quincy Jones, when he started working with Quincy Jones, he got that bassy sound, and that's my favorite. I like that the best.
The basis. Well, it has been just delightful chatting here.
I had a fabulous time, man. Thank you.
No, you're not going anywhere. You're sticking around.
I'm here. I'm here.
Unfortunately, I have to go back to shul. My congregation has been waiting for like half an hour. They're very, very patient, these people, and desperate.
Gonna go back singing Count Basie, you know. You got a Basie on your mind, you're gonna start singing Basie.
I sing Take the Olive Train. It's kind of a,
Oh.
but let me remind people one more time before I bring Dave back into the Daverhood to start the quiz and all that. But we've been talking with Steven Maglio. He is at he's at Carnegie Club tonight over on West 56th Street at 8 and 10:30 p.m. doing his Sinatra Saturdays. Or if you want to wait till Wednesday, you can see him at the Cutting Room on East 32nd Street with no smokes. The air will be clear and purified, but even more instrumentation. So much that you'll be sitting next to a trombone player, maybe.
It's gonna be fabulous. Gonna be fabulous.
You have been fabulous. Thank you, Steven Maglio. I'm going to play a little of my kind of hip cat Jewy music, which is as I make a quick transition. Don't go away. Dave will be here, and thank you again so much. It's been a delight.
Thank you. Shalom.
Shalom to you. Where the hell's my music? All right, hold on. Yeah, we're lo-fi here. Here we go. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for hanging with us here on the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Programmio, Podcastio of the stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz, and sticking around, so thrilled that he is, Steven Maglio, who was just talking with Rabbi Saul Solomon, and we're going to admit one of our great friends of the Daverhood also. He is a writer and critic. He's the former managing editor of Backstage Magazine. He's also been the president of the Drama Desk, and now he writes for TheaterLife.com, CulturalDaily.com, and TotalTheater.com, as well as his own blog, The David Desk. His name is David Sheward, and David is with us as we speak. And good morning, David. Say hi to Steven Maglio.
Morning.
Who does a show at the Carnegie Club in the Cutting Room. How you doing, David? How was your week?
Fine. How's yours?
Well, mine's fine. You watched the Tony Awards last Sunday.
Yes.
What do you think?
Oh, I thought it was one of the better Tony Awards in recent years. It moved right along, and the writer's strike turned out to be a blessing in disguise.
Is it? Yeah, I get a little. Has the banter in past years really been that silly and dull and whatever? Everybody says, "Oh, we don't have to listen to the stupid banter anymore." I mean, really, was it that bad?
Well, it's not so much that it was stupid or not stupid. I mean, there are only so many ways you can say the theater is wonderful and these actors are all wonderful. There are only so many ways you can do that, and it wasn't so much that the banter was, boring or awful or stupid. It just adds time, and that there was more time for entertainment and the speakers to speak and for the show to move along a bit faster.
Yeah, but you know what? There's also more time for entertainment because they keep shunting half the awards and the lifetime achievement things to the non-8 to 11 hour anyway. So if you take that step away, of course there's going to be more room for songs.
And they also, it was interesting, they did not show clips, apart from John Kander and Joel Grey popping out to say, we won a Lifetime Achievement Award, hooray. They didn't have like, here are the winners that were presented before we went on the air.
Well, I think they should have.
Yes,
You
they
know,
should.
Of course they should have.
Oh,
They should
that's
have.
Leslie Hoban Blake, by the way. Welcome, Leslie. How are you? How you doing now?
No, I'm
On
here.
time and looking great. How are you? Uh-oh.
I'm okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning, David. Whoops, I'm
Whoops.
gone.
Good morning.
Okay.
And by the way, Leslie, that is Steven Maglio. Leslie, can you write your?
I'm not
We'll
here.
all just go like that.
Sorry, David. I'm not there. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, there we go.
Okay,
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Leslie.
Hi, Steven, hello.
Let me just, okay, I just want to type something in here. So I want to welcome all of you. Leslie, did you watch the Tonys?
Yes, of course. What, did I watch the Tonys? Am I living? You know,
Well, no, I didn't, I don't have it. I don't pay for Paramount and I don't have cable. I'm
It
not,
was on CBS.
I don't get regular TV.
Oh, I got you, okay.
So how was it? What did you think of the Tonys?
I thought they went very quickly. I thought it was a shame to do that to Kander and Joel Gray.
Right, yeah.
Fortunately, I saw him on John DeLillo's show earlier, so I got to hear what he had to say about getting special awards.
Right. They did do an hour and a half on Pluto TV.
But I
Yeah.
will say that I thought that Ariana DeBose not only should get an Emmy, but an Oscar and a Tony for her performance on that show. What do you think, David?
Yes, I thought she did a very good job.
She was extraordinary. She was
It was-
live. She didn't make a mess, and when she did, she didn't care. It
And
couldn't have been better.
And that she, didn't have a script. I thought it was very clever the way they started with her going through the empty pages of the script.
Yeah, I thought the whole thing that and I think she must be really. I mean, I've always liked her, but to do something like that, literally on a tightrope,
Yeah.
with no net underneath, I thought was just brilliant. And
That's-
the show. I'm
Hmm.
sorry.
No, I was just gonna ask if Stephen, did you happen to watch the Tonys on Sunday
I
night?
didn't see the Tonys, but I know what it's like to be on that tightrope with no net. Nightclubs, we get that all the time.
So Leslie, did you want to add one more thing before we get to that quiz?
No, I just wanted to say that it did go quickly, and I thought that meant that we don't need presenters. I really think that's what. I don't mean presenters. I mean, we don't really need a star like Chris Rock or whatever, or to do it. I think we should just do it this way from now on. As long as you can get Ariana DeBose to be the host.
Or Neil Patrick Harris,
Or Neil Patrick Harris, you're right, he could have done the same. You're right.
so.
But I mean, you need somebody who can actually just do it and not have to have a prompter, not have to have a script.
Yeah, although I still am of the opinion that if you were organizing the whole thing and you know who's going to be appearing and when and stuff, that still is a script. You may not have dialogue, but somebody still has to chart all that out of how things happen.
That's
and
a
when.
chart. That's not a script. That's a
Yeah.
chart.
Probably
That's something a stage manager does.
the
That's not,
director, the director and the stage manager probably had a little book
of
and
course.
with a list of what was going to happen.
Oh, all right, that's fair. I don't know. I mean, the silent era, they had scripts, even though nobody spoke. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sixes and
They
sevens.
also had a director yelling at them all the time what to do. I mean, that's it in the silent days. So,
Well, I'm the director of this show, and here's how the quiz is going to go. Because Stephen, you've never played this quiz before, so it's not particularly complicated. I hope. So it's trivia questions, each worth 2 points apiece. Got it. And then if the person who gets it right, they get 2 points. They get wrong, it's okay. There's no penalty. But one of the other two
I'll
contestants,
be right back. I'm listening. I'll be right back.
one of the other contestants gets to steal the question and maybe get the 2 points instead. And then we do 2 rounds. Each person gets a question in each round, followed by a tiebreaker that we do no matter what. So any questions, Stephen, before we
Yeah,
begin?
do we just blurt the answer out or we wait to be called on to answer?
Yeah, well, I'll read it and then because it'll go directly to each contestant. The tiebreaker is different.
We
Yeah,
each get a turn.
We each get a turn. Okay. So wait to be called on before answer.
Yes.
so I'm going to call on you first, though, for this,
And if
Stephen.
you win, you get this fakakta crown.
Leslie won the crown a couple of weeks ago, so people are going to sign it and start sending it to the weekly winner. So is there?
I think I want to lose now.
Very nice, very nice. You kind of like
Nice, Susan.
Leslie, you kind of looked like Angelina Jolie and Maleficent there for a moment. That was kind of interesting.
Oh, with the crown, yeah, thank you.
So Stephen, here's the deal. Can you kindly tell me a number, choose a number between 1 and 6 and tell me what it is?
5.
5, okay. Stephen is a 5. Leslie, are you the boxcar as usual?
As usual.
As usual, 6. And David, what are you? Are you going to be a 3 or what's your?
I'll go with 3.
Okay. So the reason this matters is figuring out who goes in what particular order. So I'm going to roll a one-sided die. And what number will that come up? That's a 1. 1 doesn't. Why isn't this working? I need to do. Well, you know, I'm going to do this with an actual. Hold on. Look what I got.
Really?
Behold,
There you go.
we're going to do it the real way. Stop that stupid thing. So I'm going to roll. I'm hoping it'll stay on the table here. This could get tricky. No, I can't help. I'm going to roll it on the floor.
It's gonna bounce off the
4.
table and go across the floor.
This is not. Oh, Leslie, do you want to go first, second, or third?
Third, please.
Leslie going third. I'm going to roll the die again. I'm literally rolling this on the floor. Hold on. And this is a 2. Oh God, this is going to be a very long show. 3.
I'm enjoying this immensely.
David Sheward, do you want to be first or second?
Yes.
What?
I'll go second.
Second. David Sheward, second. And so that means Stephen. Kind of bad luck for you, but you get to go up first. It's simple. The first question is a multiple choice. And by the way, I want to remind people that the questions are often weird. You're not necessarily supposed to get them right. It's not, there's no prizes. It's just all in fun. And people also think aloud. So if you want to knock down 1 or 2 of the choices and think aloud, that's totally cool too. It's all about fun. So here's the question. Oh, and last thing, some of these questions are based on things that happened in history on June 17th. So it could be June 17th, 100 years ago, 500 years ago, whatever. Your question, is June 17th, 1579. Okay.
I remember it well.
You remember explorer Francis Drake lands on the coast of Northern California and calls the area New Albion, which he claims for Elizabeth I. Speaking of Drake, which of these is false about ducks? Yes, it has nothing at all.
About what? Oh, ducks. Okay.
About
good.
ducks. Yes.
Ducks.
Okay.
Okay.
Ducks are
Is David running to get his duck now while he's doing this?
Oh, I thought it was going to be about the rap
Drake the
artist.
singer.
I thought it was going to be about the Canadian rap artist, right? So
No,
David has
no.
ducks.
So multiple choice, you have a 1 in 4 shot, Stephen. Which of these is false about ducks?
Okay.
A, one species of duck from Argentina has a 16-inch long penis. B, ducks can literally sleep with one eye open, keeping half their brain asleep and half awake, just in case. C, the world's oldest duck, which David is holding now, in captivity lived to 35 years. Or D, a duck's quack doesn't echo.
Not true. The last one.
Last one, you're saying it is not true, or it is, wait.
I think a duck's quack would echo, I believe.
And you are correct. That is, I forgot to do the whole thing. There was this old wives' tale that the duck's quack doesn't echo, but it actually does. And there was some,
Unless it's alone in a forest, then you don't hear it at all.
and I actually screwed this up a little bit because 2 of these answers were in fact false. The longest living duck in captivity lasted 20 years, but not 35. And most ducks in the wild live about 5 to 10 years.
Is that something new you're doing? 2 wrong answers?
No, it's called making a mistake, which I did.
Oh, okay.
I demand a congressional hearing on this.
Yes, I think I want to put George
Special
Santos on that committee.
But well done, by the way. But you see, you did pick one of the 2 false right answers. So yay.
There you go. So I'm good.
Thank you. You're on the board with 2 points. You are leading in the today, yesterday trivia quiz. But now, David Sheward, you get our next question. And guess what, David?
Yes, 3 clues in the news.
It's 3 clues in the news. It's that special kind of
Okay.
question.
I
When
get those right. I get those right sometimes.
You do. You
You
absolutely
do,
do.
you definitely do.
So just so you know, Stephen, these are 3 words. I'm going to read to David 3 separate words that are not connected to each other, but each of these words is connected to the word he has to come up with. So it could be word blank or blank word, and that word is connected to something that's been in the news this past week or so. Okay, David's done this so many times he knows kind of where we're at. So the 3 clues in the news are trigger, angel, long.
Okay, trigger, angel, long. Trigger.
That's in Long Island, long.
Long, L-O-N-G, long.
L-O-N-G.
Yeah, sorry, long, yeah.
So let's see. Trigger, happy. Angel, food cake. Long Island. Angel Island. Trigger. Trigger, finger. Trigger, angel, food, angel, long, island, long, T, long neck. Trigger, that's tough. And what has been in the news this week? Trigger, angel, long, trigger, angel, long, trigger, word, indictment. I'll say indictment. I know it's wrong, but I'll say indictment.
Is that your final answer?
I can't think of anything else. Let's say trigger, indictment.
Well, you said indictment with conviction, but I'm afraid that is not the correct answer. So,
Indictment is not a conviction.
Ah.
I know that. I'm
Well,
Italian.
fine.
Indictment is not a
Yeah.
conviction.
but I don't want to rain on your parade, but we're going to roll the die again. Where's my die? Here he is. Because now either Leslie or Stephen will have a chance
Give
to.
it to Stephen, please give it to Stephen. I don't want it.
I have no idea.
I
I
don't
just
either.
rolled a 3. That's David Sheward.
Oh,
Shush! Don't, David. If you just
Oh.
can't, don't say it. Hold on.
okay.
But no, yeah. If we're getting at the end, we're getting at the end. 3. I'm just going to kick this with my foot because this is going a little bit.
All right.
It keeps doing 3 for and 1. Let us die. Come on. 2. Does somebody have a 2? No. Oh God. 5. 1. I'm so sorry about this, folks. 1, 4. Wait, no. Wait, 5. I hit a 5. Stephen, that's you.
Yeah, I'm 5. Yeah, I'm 5.
Oh, Stephen, you have a chance to steal.
I have no idea.
Ah.
I have no idea.
So when you have no idea, you can either just make up some word, or you can say StevenMaglio.com and use that as your answer to push your show at the Cutting Room and at the Carnegie Club. So is that your answer?
I'll go with island, only because I know there's a Long Island and Angel Island. I don't know if there's a Trigger Island. I don't know what the word island would refer to, but I'll take it as a guess.
Okay, so your guess is island?
Island. Yeah.
No, I mean, that's actually Angel, that's very good, but it's not the correct answer. And so we're going to leave your island and go to the mainland for Leslie Hoban Blake. Leslie, you seem shaking your head.
No, I went along with the same things David did in the beginning, and I haven't gotten any further than that. So finger, I can see it. Angel fingers are some kind of cake, and Long Island, and wait a minute, what did I say? Finger.
Finger, yeah.
And trigger finger, obviously, it's the long finger. I'm just not sure. That might mean something. I don't. Aside
Well,
from
for
the
a
obvious,
proctologist, it might, but no. That's,
aside from the obvious dirty joke, it might mean something. But I mean, other
Long
than that,
finger.
yeah, right. That's the porno version.
so is that your final answer, though, Leslie? Is finger?
That's as close as I'm going to come to an answer. Yes.
Well, I'm afraid no. The fickle finger of fate did not go in your
Oh,
favor.
thank you very
So
much.
before I tell you what the answer is, David seems
Fickle.
to.
That's the word, fickle.
Okay. Yes, it came to me after it was too late, and that is hair.
Hair. Is that your, now David doesn't get any.
Oh,
points if
yes.
it's
Oh,
correct,
wow. Good. Good.
Yeah,
What?
I don't get any points. It's too late. I know.
But it's hair trigger. It is, in fact, angel hair, like pasta, and long hair. And then why wouldn't that have been in the news, David or Leslie or Stephen? Why would I have chosen that particular word?
Not a clue.
Donald Trump got a haircut.
Do I look like I know anything about hair? Really?
Yeah.
No, it's actually a sad one
Or
because
me.
we lost Treat Williams. Treat Williams died a few days ago in that motorcycle accident.
Oh.
Possibly.
And it was
That's
1970,
bad.
71. It was
What does
dreadful.
hair have to do with it?
That was,
He was in the movie
Musical
of Hair.
yeah,
Oh, okay, got it. Right.
In the movie.
that was like his
He
big,
didn't-
in some ways, his big film role. Yeah,
I don't think he did it on stage, but he did the movie.
yeah.
Forgot about that.
And it's kind of known for, I mean, he did Prince of the City and some other stuff, but that was kind of his big movie ticket after the Ritz was Hair. But anyway, David, I wish I could congratulate, well, you got it. You just
Yeah, you got it.
didn't have any points, but now let's,
Yeah, bragging rights.
you have a question coming at you where if you get it right, you can tie Stephen
How
for
about that, Steve?
first place.
There you go.
Yeah. So, are you ready, Leslie, for your first question of our?
Yes, indeed. I'm chomping at the bit here.
Oh, well, yeah, I see the bit. It's got like divots in it and stuff. So this is a multiple choice question, Leslie. On Tuesday, this past Tuesday, we lost author Cormac McCarthy, author of the dark-hearted, often violent fiction such as All the Pretty Horses and No Country for Old Men. Which of these is not another novel by Cormac McCarthy? A, Invisible Monsters. B, Child.
Excuse me, is that invisible?
Yeah, Invisible
Okay,
Monsters.
got it. Go ahead.
B, Child of God. C, The Passenger. Or D, The Road. I'm feeding back on somebody's device. It's a little irritating, but so it's Invisible Monsters, Child of God, The Passenger, or The Road.
If The Passenger is the passenger I'm thinking of, which was about a woman who had been in a camp and she meets a guy who's wearing a Nazi uniform and they reenact some sort of weird sex, blah, blah. Anyway, that would have been The Passenger, and that was not Cormac McCarthy because that was way before Cormac McCarthy came on the scene. So I'm going to say The Passenger, C.
Is that your final answer?
You're asking which is not a
Which
Cormac
is
McCarthy.
not
Yes,
a
I
Cormac
would say
McCarthy novel.
C. I would say C, The Passenger. If that's the same one.
Well, I'm afraid I've got to kick you off the bus, Leslie. You can't be a passenger because that is not the correct answer. You're probably thinking of like an old Visconti film, or there was a passenger, or
I was thinking of the Visconti film. That's what I was thinking of.
yeah, but
Well,
that was like
Passenger.
50 years ago, and there's a different. Cormac McCarthy did write another novel called The Passenger, much
Okay,
later.
I did not know that. All right.
So we have a roll time. We can get a steal opportunity. I just kicked a number 4. I just kicked another. I hate this die. I kicked another number 4. Here's a 3. David Sheward.
Okay.
So them again. Yeah.
All right. So it's either Invisible Monsters, Child of God, or The Road.
One of those is not a Cormac McCarthy novel.
Now this may help Steve if he gets to it, but I'll just have to think aloud. The Road, I know, is a Cormac McCormick novel. It's about a post-apocalyptic world. So there's Invisible Monsters or Child of God. And they both sound like they're books he could have written. I'll say Invisible Monsters is not.
Is that your final answer, though?
Yes.
Ooh, David Sheward, you wrote a book about, George C. Scott, and you've been writing for your life. But this, I would have to say, is your monster piece. You get 2 points because
There you go.
that is the incorrect answer. Invisible Monsters was a 1999 novel by Chuck Palahniuk, the guy who wrote Fight Club. The others were Cormac McCarthy books. The Road came out in 2006. And the passenger one was one he wrote in 2022. It was just like, I think his last book, it came out at the same time as Stella Maris. And those were his last things before he died this week. Anyway, congratulations to David Sheward. You get 2 points. You are tied with Steven Maglio as we go into the second round of our Today Yesterday quiz here on Dave's Gone By Live on this Saturday morning, June 17th. So, Steven, now that you know how 3 clues in the news works,
Right.
you get one of your own as
Oh,
our
wonderful.
second round.
I'm thrilled.
It works in the same way, though. 3 separate words. They don't connect to each other. Each individual word connects, and it's generally like word blank or blank word for each of them. And the word we're looking for has something to do with something that's been in the news tangentially over the past week. Are you ready?
Ready?
The words are time, pipe, carpet.
Carpet. Oh.
We have a tie so far.
Yeah.
It's Steven and David.
Oh, wow. And how's Leslie doing?
Leslie's looking great. Leslie, but she doesn't have any points on the board. So
Come on, Leslie.
it's not her question, but
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. No, I don't have anything.
So do you want to do Steven Maglio? So again, it could be word.
StevenMaglio.com. There you go. I have
So you're gonna pass and yeah.
Yeah, I have nothing.
Okay, we're gonna roll the die. How could you do the honors? Because I've been having terrible luck with that thing.
4.
4. Nobody's got 4. It always goes on 4. This thing. 3. David Sheward, man. So David,
Come
you
on,
have
Shoemeister.
Oh,
you can take the lead here.
okay.
3 clues in the news.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. Time, hype, and carpet. Now, the only thing I can think of is bomb, but it doesn't quite work with hype. It works with time and it works with carpet.
Wait. What did you say? What word did you say?
I said bomb.
Yeah. No. What are the 3 words that you said? The 3 clues.
Time, hype,
No,
carpet.
David Sheward. The words are time, pipe, carpet.
Oh, pipe.
Pipe.
Pipe. I think I said hype.
Smoking. This is not a pipe.
Then it's definitely bomb.
Is that your final
Yes.
answer?
Yes.
Kaboom! Yes, 2 points to David Sheward for getting. Well, I'm glad you said those words out loud, man. Yeah, I guess I'm not clear. But pipe, and why was the word bomb in the news this week?
Oh God. What, did someone lay a bomb? Was there?
Yeah, this show, me. No, okay.
There wasn't a bomb on Broadway, although Grey House I thought was a bomb.
Oh, goodness, Mom.
I'm
it's good.
seeing it this afternoon. Thank you,
Oh.
David.
Thank you, David.
I'll be very curious to know what you think of it.
Okay.
I don't know. What was a bomb this week?
Anybody? Well, no, it was the. Sorry, I get so emotional. The passing of one of my idols, the Unabomber, Ted
It's a
Kaczynski,
Unabomber, of
died.
course.
Oh,
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, he was 81 years old. He died. They found him dead in prison. So
well,
bye.
I suspect
found
murder.
it.
I really suspect murder.
they found him dead in prison. In other words, they went to his cell and he was dead.
Yeah, but he was 81.
Who was the sex guy? Remember the sex guy? They said
Oh, that wasn't Epstein.
Yeah.
It was
Jeffrey
Epstein.
Epstein,
Oh, that
yeah.
was different.
That was
That
different.
was not like a natural causes.
Different kind of bomb there. Yes. indeed.
With Glenda Jackson and Danielle Ellsberg, I guess he got lost in the shuffle.
As it were. It just makes me feel so good because Harvard rejected me, when I applied to Harvard as an undergrad to go to college. And like one of their famous alums is Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. So like, oh, you took him. He was a genius, but it's still,
It was an
So they were the
evil
ones that
genius.
taught him how to make the bombs then.
Exactly.
That's right.
All right, this is very exciting now. We have now David Sheward with 4 points leading in the game, but Stephen, you're only 2 points behind Leslie. You're not on the board yet, but we still have a couple of questions in our today, yesterday quiz. And now this next question goes directly though to David Sheward. You can kind of,
Okay.
you can nail this open and shut right now if you get this question right. So let's see how you do with question number 5. Oh, you're gonna, go figure David would get this one. Here we go. Congratulations to Kimberly Akimbo, winner last Sunday of the 2023 Tony Award for Best Musical, as well as trophies for book, score, lead actress Victoria Clark, and featured actress Bonnie Milligan. Based on a play by David Lindsay Abaire, the musical features his book and lyrics and music by Janine Tesori. Which of these is not another musical co-written by Janine Tesori?
Okay.
A, Dessa Rose, B, Soft Power, C, Violet, D, Shrek.
Okay, let me see. Okay, now you're gonna be shocked at this. I'm not 100% sure. I know that she did Violet, and did she do Shrek? Well, that was also David Lindsay Abaire. I think he wrote the book. Did she do the music for Shrek? I think she did. Was Soft Power? It was either Soft Power or Dessa Rose. Dessa Rose, I think, was Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty. Did Tesori do Soft Power? Who did Soft Power? Which I really liked. I've seen all of these shows, and I don't remember if Soft Power was Janine Tesori or not. I'm pretty sure Dessa Rose was Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty. Oh, was that what was that other one with? I think what was that other one with Stephen Flaherty did, the Golden Ones or something with what's his name, and it was at the Public. But that's some. I think Dessa Rose is Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty, so I'll say Dessa Rose.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, a Dessa Rose by any other name would smell as sweet for 2 points for David Sheward. You are right. That was a Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty show. You're correct. And Soft Power. Well, I also saw that one. That was very good. With David Henry Wong was the book writer on that.
Yes.
And Violet, yes, and Shrek 2. So also,
I
what do you
know
think of
she
Lucky
did
Stick?
Shrek. I'm surprised.
Yeah,
I'm really surprised to know that she did Shrek. I just didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think of her as doing a big Broadway musical. You know.
Well, she did Thoroughly Modern Millie.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, the
I
new
didn't
song.
know that. I don't remember that either. That just
She did-
goes
she
right out
did
of
the-
my head.
She did the new songs for that.
And she was Fun Home.
Oh,
also.
okay.
She was
Fun Home.
yeah, her big calling card now. But David Sheward, your big calling card is that, well, technically, you know, Leslie, get your envelope ready because David has technically already won the game this week. But we're still going to do the last 2 questions because I took the time to write them and you're here. So even though it's meaningless, the whole game is meaningless. And Leslie, this question will go directly to you. Well, you kind of like these. This one is change one letter. So you dig these. Here's the deal, Stephen. If you end up getting, if Leslie doesn't get it, you get. It means that there are 2 answers to this question, each worth 1 point, and the 2 answers are only 1 letter away from each other. Okay, they're almost the same word, but 1 letter different. And it's based on someone who was born today, June 17th, in 1952.
Me?
Not quite, huh? Change 1 letter for this SNL, Nebraska, and MacGruber big deal. And you will have a place where a smithy works his steel.
That's a hard one.
That's what she said.
Did you say SNL wasn't Saturday Night Live?
Yes, that is correct. I'll read it again because I screwed up the thing. Born today in 1952. Change 1 letter for this SNL, Nebraska, and MacGruber big deal, and you'll have a place where a smithy works his steel.
Okay, I got it.
Well, this is your question, Leslie. This is directly to you. So
I said I got it.
Yeah, I'm
I
saying,
got it.
so you don't have to wait. You don't have to, I'm gonna read the question
Oh,
one more
okay.
time, but
All
this
right,
is,
so it's
Yeah.
Forte and Forge.
is that,
Forte and Forge.
is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, I guess the change one letter question is your forte,
That's my forte.
Leslie, because that is the correct answer. Will Forte is, of course, a longtime Saturday Night Live alum. He was in the movie, the serious movie Nebraska, and he also has that TV show, that comic character MacGruber that he does. And of course, a smith, he works in a forge. Forte, forge. Well done, Leslie Hoban. Blake, you're on the board.
Yes, I am, and I'm tied with Steven.
All three of you, everybody had points in this game. Now, Stephen and all of you, we do our tiebreaker a little differently. Now, we don't have a tie, but we're going to do this again. So do you have a pen and paper or pencil and paper or pad and something? Because what we do is I ask the question, and then you guys write down your answer. And then I'll ask the question again, and at the correct moment, I'll give a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then you'll hold up your answer to the camera all at the same time. So that way, all three people get to, it's like Final Jeopardy. All three people get to do their thing at the same time.
It's exactly like Double Jeopardy.
Final
Yeah.
Final
Although
Jeopardy.
actually they don't, because they still go one at a time with each person, right?
Yeah.
They still, whereas this time everybody shows at once. So is everybody ready? Is everybody ready for the tiebreaker non-tiebreaker?
Yes.
No ties. The year was 2003. Okay, published today, June 17th, 2003, is a baseball book by Michael Lewis. It's the true story of how Oakland A's manager Billy Beane turned the club's season around, not with talent or big paychecks, but by using statistics to gauge the value of each player's skill set. Name that book.
Dum da dum 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 dum.
So take a few moments to write it down.
I saw the movie, but I can't come up with anything. Oh, I don't know.
So take a moment to write it down, and I will read the question again, but I want to make sure you all have some. Do you need me to read it again, Les, before you write something? Are you good?
It's just out of my purview, sorry.
Because you knew it, you saw the film version.
I saw
So,
the film, but I don't remember what it was called. I remember who was in it.
I'll read it again. The year was 2003. Published today is a baseball book by Michael Lewis, the true story of how the Oakland A's manager Billy Beane turned the club's season around, not with talent or big paychecks, but by using statistics to gauge the value of each player's skill set. Name that book. I won't give a 3, 2, 1 yet. Leslie, have you written anything?
No, I'm.
You're not even
I have
gonna.
nothing to write.
You want to write 2 on the aisle on your piece of paper or something, or
StevenMaglio.com, right?
Still ask me later,
StevenMaglio.com.
it's okay.
and Stephen, have you written something down? Don't show
Yes,
it.
I did.
So I'm going to give a 3, 2, 1. Okay, what was the name of the book? And I will say now, the movie. 3, 2, 1. Show those cards. I see a Moneyball. I see a Moneyball, and I see Leslie's face going. Of course it was Moneyball. Well done. That was the name of it. And by the way,
If it makes you feel any better, Leslie, I was just a guess because I saw the movie and that was the only.
it was the book. The movie was based on
Yeah.
the book. Absolutely well done, Stephen. Well done, David. And by the way, the Oakland A's are, for the last 3 years, have been one of the worst absolute teams in Major League Baseball ever. So it doesn't always work somehow. The idea, the movie made this great case for looking in the long run, but then it's like maybe.
It's like horse racing. You can look at those stats all you want. It doesn't mean you're going to win.
No, the only way to win horse race, make sure the other horses die.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That could be arranged. That could be arranged.
Wild horses.
I'm guessing since you play a Sinatra type character in these places, you know some people who can arrange it. I'm just guessing.
12 horses down, then 12 horses.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've been playing the Today Yesterday quiz with wonderful friends of the Daverhood, and those include, first of all, Leslie, Hoban, Blake. Leslie, have you're going to see theater again? You're seeing Grey House. Have you done any new shows with Charlie Gross?
Yes,
Yeah.
Charlie and I did a threesome of
I beg your pardon. Does Margie know?
Margie would kill him. A shot. Parade. Remember now that these are shows that Charlie waited for me to be able to see so that we could review them. So they're all older shows. Sorry about that, but that's the way it went. So we did Parade, Prima Facie, and Chuck.
And Chuck. Yeah.
I hated Chuck. I don't know if I ever got to say that to anybody besides on the show. I hated it.
Wow.
Hated it. I can take your puns. Your puns at least are clever sometimes. Chuck was so annoying.
Stop right there. Leslie just told me.
Sometimes.
I can take your puns. They're sometimes clever. Thank you, Leslie. I can take your lateness coming to the show. Your fucking technical difficulties where half the time you can't get a video going.
I am not worthy. I'm sorry. Okay.
David,
But I just had to say that. By the way, David, I
David,
just have to ask you, David Sheward, did you see King James?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you can't see it. It closes tomorrow.
Did
I
had conflicts at work, so I was not able to.
Oh, no, I'm just sorry because I would have loved to hear what you had to say about it. So anyway, we did that, and then yes, I'm seeing Grey House today. I think those are the only two I've seen since the other thing,
Well, Leslie, if people want to see these episodes of Two on the Aisle, they go to the YouTube page. Is it Two on the Aisle YouTube page or Charlie Gross?
It's Two on the Aisle, yeah, Two on the Aisle, or Charlie Gross, one or the other. Charlie has his own line. But we will break them down into segments and they will be on YouTube separately. So each show will have its own segment.
So, if you're thinking about going to see these shows, see the reviews of Charlie Gross and Leslie Hoban Blake of these.
And they will be live. They will be live on M&M not live, but tape next Thursday on
Manhattan Neighborhood Net. What time does it air on Manhattan Neighborhood?
It airs at 10 on alternate Thursday, so it's 10 o'clock next Thursday. By the way, David, I will get in touch with you. The crown is yours, obviously. I will put my initials on this little heart that's over here. I didn't do any of this. By the way, David made this. I didn't have anything to do with making it.
Oh, no, Joyce, my wife Joyce made the crown. Yeah. But so
David,
you sent it to David Sheward. He won. It's David's crown now.
I sent it to David Sheward. I got to get his address. So David, I will send you. That's what I was saying, David.
Now, David Sheward, speaking of reviews, David can't give his address out on the air. But David Sheward, speaking of reviews, you got some new reviews. You also got a Broadway update. So what have you written this week that people can read?
Well, I just had a review of Days of Wine and Roses, which is now on Cultural Daily, and then it will be on Theater Life and Total Theater. I can email that. And let's see. Today I am seeing Wet Brain, so I hope to have a review of that.
This is Leslie's thing, by the way. That Joyce just. So this is Two on the Aisle on the thing. But Wet Brain is. I'm sorry. Wet Brain
at Playwrights Horizons.
Okay, don't even know. Yeah.
And I have on the David desk are some news updates of what's going on. Cabaret may be transferring from London to the Cabaret that was in London with Eddie Redmayne. Maybe it's not confirmed, it's not official, but it may be coming to Broadway, according to one source. Pearly Victorious has announced its dates. That's going to start preview and its cast with Leslie Odom Jr. And Second Stage has announced some of its shows for the next season, which will include a new play by Paula Vogel, which is as yet unnamed, and Brandon Jenkins, whose play The Comeuppance is at Signature Theater. His earlier play, Appropriate, will be coming to Broadway.
I love that show.
Oh, yay. Okay. Now, Steven Maglio, we're going to remind people one more time that you are going to be tonight at the Carnegie Room at 8
Carnegie Club.
Carnegie Club, excuse me, Carnegie Club 8 and 10:30 p.m. And it's across the street from the back entrance of Carnegie Hall. Well, people, if you're coming to the Carnegie Club to see Steven Maglio and his 11-piece band doing songs of the Sinatra era and covered and done by Sinatra, understand that it will be smoky, that people will smoke cigarettes and cigars. But if you don't want to deal with that, wait until Wednesday, because then you can go see him at the Cutting Room, where once a month, and this is the beginning of a residency, once a month. Actually, Joyce just pulled up David Sheward's blog, the David Desk. So you can read your phone too. Thank you, Ben. So Steven Maglio is going to be at the Cutting Room this Wednesday night, June 21st, doing not just Sinatra, and then he'll be doing it every month there at the Cutting Room. Is it going to be Wednesdays, like once a month?
Well, no, the first one is Wednesday. The next shows are going to be on Thursdays. They'll be July 27th and August 17th. We don't have the ticket, the Eventbrite up yet.
Sure, but it will be.
And then in September, we'll pick new dates to get us to the end of the year.
But if you love the era, if you love the Sinatra songs and songs by people also like Bobby Darin and who else was the
King Cole and Dean Martin and Tony Bennett. And like I said, we're going to be doing a Billy Joel song. We're going to be doing a Jim Croce song, Engelbert Humperdinck. We're going to be mixing it up pretty good.
So that is at the Cutting Room this Wednesday night, and then once a month after that. Thank you so much to all of our delightful, wonderful contestants, including our winner, David Sheward. Yay. Everybody, blow kisses. Thank you so much for being part of the Daverhood today. Just a delight to have you all.
Thank you.
David, is the next show the 900th show?
Next week.
The 900th show. Wow.
Wow.
Is that what the
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, literally, we started 20 and a half years ago. And next week, I don't know what I'm doing for it. I don't know if I'm doing anything special, but yeah.
Square dancing.
It could be square dancing.
Make a crown.
Thank you, Leslie. And thank you for being with us in the Daverhood today. Have a wonderful week. Thank you, David Sheward, also. Have a great week, too. And see you very soon. All right. Well, it is 11:15 Eastern time. Oh, this is just my coffee, but thank you very much. Yeah.
Guzzle down my tea. Fun quiz.
How's Asper? Yeah, they were really good.
You
and I love it.
That to the winner.
By the way, if I took the time to put this in, by the time they got it, this would be a really mushy tushy.
Take a picture of you with it, because I feel like we don't have a picture of you with Asper.
Well, you always tell me I have a nice pair.
You have a beautiful pair. Your picture, she's gorgeous, but let's see.
Thank you, Thank you for sharing that with the world.
Okay, now do smile, do cute smile. Okay, now look at Asper. Okay, now show the cheeks. Now show the cheeks to the camera. Okay, now do like naughty. Hand over mouth like uh-oh, no, like uh-oh. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, this is what we do on Dave's. Oh my goodness. So we still have, by the way, our Colorado Limerick of the damned.
Why don't you show people? That's the other thing we do.
What?
You show the pictures and we just took. That's another thing.
Oh, there that's really good. Look at this.
There's a bunch. Keep going.
That's a classic.
Keep going.
I don't know if you see you do see the tushy on this one.
There's more.
Listen, I'm blowing into it. Oh, this is sweet.
Yeah, it's more cuddly.
I sometimes take a pretty decent picture. Oh, this is good too. Look at
That's
this.
a little bit more conflicted. Oh, that's a happy one, yeah.
That is like literally. That's a really. You should be my official photographer. This one isn't quite as good. You are my official photographer. And then this is Potatoes playing with.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't want to know. Anyway, thank you, dear. Thank you, and we haven't done Greeley Crimes and Old Times yet, which is based on stories. Who knows where the Greeley Crimes and Old Times go? Well, they go on this show, Dave's Gone By. By the way, if you want to hear older episodes of the show or see, last 5 years we've been on video, go to davesgoneby.com. We also have a channel on archive.org. In fact, sometimes especially recent shows, the video is higher quality on archive because there's more space there or something than we can even get on davesgoneby.com. Plus, you can roll back the past few years on Facebook because our shows are saved there. We also have our audio archives at Castbox, Castbox.fm. It's audio only, even for the video shows. Castbox.fm. But if you're out and about and you just want to listen to the show as a podcast, you can do that there. And did I miss any? Well, and we have a YouTube channel as well, Dave's Gone By. So all these different places and ways to get the same material. Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife Joyce, and of course, Ass Pear.
No, he's just cheeky.
Cheeky.
He's got
Oh,
a
cheeky.
cute
No.
No, David.
Oh, is he bruised?
You cut it, you sliced his, it's good I got the photos because you sliced his butt cheek.
Oh no.
It's your neck.
You have to eat him today now.
No, I'm not eating that pear. It's been handled and rolled. I'm gonna fix
It's
it.
been handled by me. Oh, his tushy. Oh, that's so sad.
Here.
No, leave it down. I don't want it on the desk anymore because it'll just roll and it'll get
No,
hurt.
it's fixed.
Yeah, all right. He's got his Band-Aid on. It's like a Mickey.
It looks like a butt tattoo.
It really does. And he's got a little tramp stamp here. This is,
In the fridge.
yeah, you don't really don't want to eat him.
No.
That's a shame. I ruined him. Oh
No,
no.
he's a celebrity. Oh, he's kind of mushy though. He's getting slimy.
Well, yeah, it was today's the day to eat him. Yeah.
Go in the fridge. Yeah.
Anyway,
Maybe freezer?
just to keep him forever.
Yeah.
Oh, we could do that.
Okay.
Because once he goes in the freezer, we're never going to eat him. I don't think you ever eat him now anyway. Were you going to eat him even if I hadn't just fallen down, just because his butt looks like a butt?
Yeah.
You wouldn't go there. You wouldn't do it.
It might indicate nature's telling me something's not right with this pear, you know?
Well, understand. I've eaten bull balls. I mean,
They're
I've
pretty-
eaten not road apples. What are they called? Rocky Mountain oysters, which are yummy. But you know, I don't know. I'm a human vacuum. If I see food, I will at least try it. It's probably gonna be horrible, but let me at least give it a and then I'll have a bite. And then, yeah, I shouldn't have tried this.
No.
But that's
Should
me.
we do Greeley crimes?
Let's do Greeley crimes all the time. So this is based on actual things that are in the
And what did
Greeley.
he say about the smoking and stuff? I didn't catch that part.
Oh, if you go, honestly, to see Steven
Do a lot of people
Maglio,
smoke though? Is that what he's saying?
not at the cutting room, but if you see
Yeah.
him at his Saturday night show at the Carnegie Club. Carnegie Club is one of the rare places in Manhattan, probably in
What did he
America,
say about it?
that if you go in,
Yeah.
you can have a
Wine.
whiskey or a wine or
Yeah.
a drink, a beverage. They have little appetizer things. They have food, but you can smoke a cigarette or a cigar.
But do most people do it? That's what.
In a place like that, I'm sure, like in old nightclubs, a lot of people did, some people didn't. But if you didn't, you're gonna be sitting near people who are smoking. So, having a cigar, and he probably has a cigar after the show too or something. So it's like, it's a smoke-filled room.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
In the old way. I won't be able to stand there at this point, but the cutting room I would go to. But anyway, speaking of going to places, Joyce and I went to Greeley, Colorado for a bunch of years a while back, where this was the local newspaper, the Greeley Tribune. And the Tribune has a column that they do every single week called Cop Log, the Greeley Cop Log. And it's basically phone calls that come to the first line of defense at a police station. The dispatcher picks up the phone and says, how, 911 or police, how can we help you? And sometimes very serious calls come in. And sometimes not so serious calls come in. All of them are public record. All of them eventually, the newspaper has the right to look at them. And they have the right, leaving out names and things, to put the funniest
I wonder if
ones.
people know that when they're calling in, do you think the people calling in know
They
that
have to
they're, no?
I mean, it's rare that they
Did
would.
he say, like, when you call the police, like, this could become public record? Because I wonder if people knew that, if they would say the things they do,
Ooh,
Well,
I don't know. If, let's say you're on the street committing a crime and a camera gets you doing it. I think it's news. It's like, your privacy, unless you're like 14 years old doing it, is not really protected. It's just out there in public. So I'm
scared
guessing
what you're gonna say with the new, are these new or these old?
these are within the past month in terms of the crimes, but
For me,
old, we're having a problem. Old, it has now
what
been
happened? Yeah.
2 months
Uh-oh.
since the Greeley Tribune has its second column called 100 Years
Maybe you
Ago.
only get one or the other.
And Mike Peters has not written anything for the paper since April. So I don't know if he's been on a long vacation,
Or
if
retired.
he's unwell. I've written to him, I've written to Morgan McKenzie,
Yeah.
nothing.
They don't know yet what's gonna happen.
So there is no,
So.
we still have some old
Parts of that.
100 years ago from like February, but, or not, excuse me, from like April and May. So we're doling those out very, very carefully, portioning out the old times things, because there are no recent ones coming in. Although we do have a lot of cop logs, so thank you, Morgan. Either way, we mix them up and we call the segment Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Da, 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 da. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Greeley Crimes and Old Times here. It's mostly going to be crimes because we really have very, very few old times left, but we do have some crimes. So here we go. This happened a couple of weeks ago. A woman on 8th Street said,
Oh, wait, which one is it? Wait,
there we go. A woman on 8th Street said that a man sitting on the ground outside of her apartment was grunting, yelling, and spitting. It's like me in the morning trying to get my plan.
Oh, was it you?
And like, oh, God damn it!
Was it you? Wait here. Was it you?
It's literally me in the morning. It is. They're like, damn it.
You were doing it on the floor. You wouldn't sit on the floor outside.
Well, she needed to leave, but she was afraid because it was outside her apartment. She didn't want to, like, be there. Meanwhile, 15 minutes later,
Oh, no.
a caller from the same apartments reported 2 men spitting and urinating down the hallway. What a apartment complex is this?
Sounds like a fun
It's
place.
like Skid Row on Greeley's 8th Avenue, or 8th Street.
It might just be that, like somebody mistakenly let them in and they were like making peepers.
I know, but they're spitting, yelling, and peeing. Well, they got the other guy to come and pee.
That's hard to do.
He was like, put.
That's hard to do all those things.
I want to pee. I need a friend.
But it's hard to do those. I mean, I've done a lot of things simultaneously, but those are hard.
Yeah, no, oof, no. Yelling, you can probably yell and pee at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't think I have. I may try that after the show's over.
But I don't think you.
Can you yell and pee? I guess you can. You know what? If you're an old man with a bad prostate and you're in pain, you
Yeah,
probably
you
yell and
probably
pee
yell
at the
and
same
pee.
time. A woman on 29th Street, excuse me, 29th Street said
Yeah.
she had someone in her apartment that needed to be removed.
Yeah.
He locked himself in the bathroom with the light out. With the lights out in the bath.
That's scary.
Yeah, of course it is. But I'm like, what? Like, if I have the lights off, no one will see me. I'm not visible. It's like, and if I don't come out of the bathroom ever.
She didn't say it was like 10 a.m. and you didn't.
This was actually 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So but it's like,
Lights?
yeah, right. Well, how dark does a bathroom get
I don't know.
at 3 in the afternoon?
Depends on the bathroom.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of that old bathroom at the diner we used to go to in Hewlett.
Oh, God.
Remember, it was the Greek guy who owned it, and his next door, his daughter used to visit, but yeah, the nice waitress that we liked.
Debbie and
Larry, it was called Debbie and Larry's Cafe.
Yeah.
And it was fine. The food was good and it was cheaper than most other places around. It was good and they knew us and it was a nice atmosphere. And but then you go to the men's bathroom I don't know how they arranged this. It was like
Not AD accessible, let's just say
the
that.
dingiest thing. There was like a beam, a slanted beam over the toilet where you couldn't get that close to the toilet because you bang your head on the beam.
I think it was the only place that they could,
Yeah, they have to have a toilet. So that was the only thing that they could do. And there was a little horrible little sink next to it. But it was the funniest, like,
oh, David wrote you, I should have a review on time.
okay,
You wrote the
cool.
word time at 10:30.
I wrote time. I wrote telling him that it was time to join the quiz.
Oh, okay.
Got it. So anyway, a man on Center Place Drive said, a young man was in the grocery store with a machete in a sheath on his back.
But he's not leaving it. I mean,
No, but still, you walk around carrying a machete.
Maybe, you know, I think he was a
concealed.
ninja. Maybe
Like
he was
her.
a ninja.
This is the funny part, though. He said, the guy said on the phone, he didn't know how to describe the young man, quote, without sounding racist.
Oh, God.
It was like- I said, oh, go ahead, call him a heeb. And, it's fine by me. But I should bring my machete around to places.
I saw the one thing, it was a film in Spanish, and it was called The Machete, and the guy was carrying a machete.
Wow. And he made cutting remarks. I wonder if he was a gay blade. Anywho, more really crimes in old times. Here's another one. A caller on 10th Street reported finding an empty gas container with a nasty message on it. I wonder if she readdressed it and mailed it to OPEC.
I think probably gas prices are too high.
Yeah, but like empty container, like who writes nasty message on gas containers? It's like,
Maybe it's a threat to burn the house or burn the lady.
well, that's not good. All right, I would report that. Yeah.
Flammable. That's
All
not
right.
good.
Yeah. And you know I've had bad gas, so that
Your gas could, yeah.
yeah. Thank you very much, Darcy.
Yeah.
I got Leslie insulting me. I got you insulting me.
I ate that ready meal, but woof, lordy.
It was good. It was pretty
It
good.
was not good when you cooked it.
Yeah. It was, thanks for sharing. Thanks for saying that you like my ass, but you don't like what comes out of my ass.
It's adorable. It's very cute.
Thank you, darling. All right, let's do one more big crime thing. Then we'll do one old timey thing and then some elsewheres.
You gotta stay in it.
Now, a caller on 8th Avenue said several teams were playing basketball at his basketball hoop without permission. The teens ignored commands to leave and then turned up their music over the homeowners. Later, a caller on Glenmere Boulevard said a group of teenagers were at the gazebo being disruptive, smoking, and urinating in public. What is with people peeing in Greeley? What, they need more potties. Yeah.
We know where the gazebo was in Glenmere.
Yeah, yeah. And I knew where all the potties were because I make it my business to know. Because I'm a potty animal.
I mean, come on, you gotta find a potty.
I know. Oh no. Oh. Anyway, I got it. Oh yeah? Yeah, watch your head. Good. Now let's do one or two old-timey things. These are items that were in the Greeley Tribune newspaper 100 years ago. Now, Mike Peters spent years doing these, week after week, doing a column in the Tribune, the modern one, so that people could see these old things that were in the paper and laugh about them.
Save them.
But Mike has not been on the ball since April, so
They'll favor now.
I hope so.
You got together with the current ones, so maybe now they just gotta work on the old time ones.
I hope so. But they're two different people. Like Morgan McKenzie does the cop log.
Yeah, but she could also take over the old
I
time.
hope so.
I could train her how to do it, so or to give her that way.
Or train me, pay me like $1, something. Anyway, here's one old time thing. This was in the paper back in 1923 in the Greeley Tribune. The Greeley Renovating Company is changing the filling of bed mattresses, allowing them to be filled with cotton, hair, wool, and or feathers. Prices are cheaper than usual.
Wow.
Does this not bother you?
I don't want hair in my mouth.
Hair!
I
Hair!
think it's sheep hair.
That's called wool.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's true.
Cotton, hair, wool, and or feathers. Hair.
And or.
Do animals have made horses? Horses.
No, horses have a mane.
Right. Because the idea of a mattress filled with hair.
She
Give me a mattress with hair, long, beautiful hair, king size, queen size, twin, or a single. I can go to sleep with hair in my nostrils, hair, baby. Anyway. All right.
You're like, is that the cat? Oh no, it's just my hairy mattress.
That was my Treat Williams tribute, by the way. I hope you
loved
like
it.
that. Thank you very much.
That was great, yeah.
Now, also on Dave's Gone By.
My hair liked it too.
Oh, pear like hair.
Tiny hair.
Tiny. We have elsewhere because since we're running out of these old time things, sometimes we also go far afield from Colorado for our comedy and for this segment of weird ridiculous things in the news. So we have, courtesy, of course, of the New York Post, an item from Texas. This happened. This was
Is it
about
real? This
a
is
week,
real?
2 ago. These are
Oh.
all of these are real,
Okay.
but this is recent, but not from Colorado. It's from Texas. 2 Texas teens have been charged with felonies for a prank they played at their high school last month. I know I was not involved. On May 3rd, a strong odor akin to gas
Oh, no.
was detected at Cary Creek High School, prompting firefighters to evacuate all students. Classes resumed the next day, but around noon, the school was evacuated a second
No.
time
Oh, no.
due to the same smell.
Does it smell like poopy gas? or
Well,
gas?
yeah, I think when they say gas,
It means like, okay.
yeah. The building remained closed until May 5th, when the stomach-turning odor finally dissipated. School officials said 6 students were hospitalized from headaches and nausea. At least 8 others reported feeling ill. Hazardous crews spent 3 days scouring the campus with gas detection equipment. They didn't find any leaks.
Good,
Okay.
good, I'm glad.
Then one student allegedly confessed to bringing what the fire department said was, quote, hen-socked fart spray.
What is it?
Hens-gawked fart spray.
Hen-gawked fart spray, okay.
Yes, it is marketed online as a gag toy, I guess causes gagging,
Yeah.
that, quote, creates a smell like real poo and fake vomit.
Oh, yeah.
Like real
We
poo.
had that on the airplane, remember when
That wasn't fake.
that was real? Yeah.
That was something coming out of someone's ass. Yeah. Anyway, it could also have been bark.
With many other people.
Yeah. When interviewed by police, the teens admitted to spraying the chemical in several parts of the school. They were charged with possession of a prohibited weapon, punishable by up to 10 years in prison.
Well, because they evacuated, and also for me, like, this is what I don't like,
Yeah.
all of these like pranksters and stuff who call in. First, like, emergency responders are there for when something bad happens.
Yeah.
So all the time that those fire people were in that school
Mhm.
looking, like, the kid could have said, oh, I did this, right, the first day or whatever. But what happens is then there's some poor people who need, like, they're having a heart attack or they have bad house thing. They need the fire people or they need the EMS or they
Yeah.
need those emergency people. That to me is the crime. It's that you're taking the life or the essence of somebody who might need these people.
It's like the fake kidnappings that go on. Why are they so? Yeah, it's not just cute.
No,
Yeah.
it's because you're taking away first responders who could be saving the lives of other people. That's what I don't think.
And also you're making an entire school smell like shit for 2
But
days.
that, you
I
can,
mean, the cafeteria is
you
supposed
can
to.
do that, but then you say when they evacuate the school, you go to the principal and you say you don't need to have the fire department here. It's that poopy spray or whatever,
Yeah.
fart chicken spray.
So would you give them prison time though? I mean, that's,
I don't,
Prison time
it's
is
the
heavy.
law. I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I mean, because my thing is like, if this kid does it, what happens if it becomes viral and other people do that same thing? Like, that's not.
obviously people have thought about it because this exists, this Hens-gawked fart spray, which I'm gonna buy a bottle of
Oh,
because,
okay.
yeah.
That was gonna be your Father's Day gift, David.
I was sprinkling all over the unicorn.
I don't think he needs it.
No, unicorn does not.
I think
Smell.
I think he could generate that.
Yeah, that could possibly be. So that's our elsewhere story of the week here on Dave's Gone By.
Disturbing.
Yeah, well, kinda. Glad I don't go back to high school. Yeah.
Wait, were you?
When, where, what?
We were in Florida years and years ago, and there some of the kids in the
Oh, they pulled
hotel
them.
pulled the fire alarm.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bad press, but there was one lady in her nightgown. There were people with babies. Like, it was like being on the Titanic.
If you have an 80-year-old who has to go outside
Mothers and kids,
3 o'clock in the
And
morning.
it was like, I just remember thinking, like, we were all going downstairs, right?
Yeah,
God forbid, like, if somebody fell down those stairs, it could have been like, that's the problem. Like, it's a fun prank, haha. But God forbid somebody got hurt, or like somebody woke up, or somebody got scared, or somebody, you know, like got trapped in the room and they couldn't get out and they got scared and they got sick. Like, you can't do that.
no, well,
You know, that's what they say. You taught me, you can't scream fire in a crowded theater, right? Because it's the act endangers the public welfare, right?
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
that's not.
there are times that I think you should be able to scream like lousy play.
You should
halfway
say,
through the first
"This
act.
movie sucks, stop.
Everybody in it, like, bad play, everybody gotta go to the theater now.
And then the lady, well, that's what critics do. That's what critics are for.
Well, yeah, but not during the thing. Then there should be a drill.
But you also gotta get people, we watched Warp for Christ's sake. I mean,
Yes,
we watched
yes.
Warp where we saw a woman with,
Yeah.
and I have cellulite. She had a lot of cellulite. Sister was wearing some sort of thong metallic thing and
Yeah.
some large man wearing a thong, like that should never.
Oh, I've seen
happen.
plays, I've seen,
Yeah.
you know, where, you know, it would be a public service to get up in the middle and say,
Oh, remember the one in
should
DC?
he play?
Remember
Yeah.
the one in DC? So
Well,
we were
somebody fell
watching
off
this,
his-
yeah,
yeah,
no,
no,
but it was
yeah.
very weird because we're watching this play and it was like in a surrealist thing. And they had multiple levels of the play.
And it was bad, yeah.
And I think everybody knew, and a lot of critics were there, right?
Yeah, it was American Theater
Yeah.
Critics,
And
yeah.
then all of a sudden during that one performance, right, this guy's been working on this, you know, up and down, you know,
Yeah.
jibble jabble stage. And then he comes out and he's like in the wheelchair, you know, like hamming it up. I mean, I've had pain, but that wasn't like, if you're in pain, you're not doing that. Like, so it was odd to me that the one time that the audience is full of critics, he gets hurt.
Because they didn't go on with the second act, which means we couldn't review the show.
Yeah, see?
Interesting.
Yeah.
And we were spared seeing
You
Act
couldn't
two.
go back because you were only there for a short time, so you couldn't
Yeah.
make it up,
Yeah, that was. I remember one time we also saw a revival. This is in a different city, but we had seen the Terrence McNally play. It's only a play done by a community level theater. And it was so bad
Yeah.
that we kind of sneaked out. And
One,
yeah,
Yeah, and all the critics went to the other play.
man. No, that was one. There was one time we did that, and there was another where we just snuck onto the bus.
Oh, really?
We just went back to the bus and sat there for 45 minutes rather than endure.
that's
Because there
bad.
was another play with David Strathairn,
It's bad.
who's a very good actor
Yeah,
and who does a lot of good movies. But he there's something about him. He picks the most boring plays ever. And we saw him in some god awful like sleep inducing thing. And I think I was just like, okay, we're just gonna
So
go to the
people
bus.
slowly left and ended
No,
up.
intermission. We waited till
Oh, and everybody
intermission
was on the bus.
and just magically didn't find our way back.
Did you review the play or did everybody just not review the play?
I think, well, in our columns, we might have said and some people stayed, not everybody. Some people are more diligent. Like, no matter how bad, I owe it to my readers.
Did anyone get in trouble for leaving?
Nah, I don't think so.
Hmm.
So the only time we should have gotten in trouble, and it wasn't us, was when we were I was with the USC
Theater?
MEA fellowship thing,
fellows, yeah.
out in California. And we'd been there, it was almost a month-long thing, and it was wonderful. We had a wonderful time. But we were going to see, I don't remember what play it was. But we had spent the afternoon because we all needed it at the beach.
Oh,
We all went to the beach no, not even that. But we were just looking at the water, people were swimming, and we were having a fantastic time. Nobody wanted to leave, including our leader.
Preceptor.
Yeah, the person who's supporting us and organizer. So, and I'm, me, I'm kind of,
Yeah.
I'm sort of there for going, watch. But nobody wanted to leave the beach. And then by the time we did and got on the bus, we missed about like 20 minutes of the first act and I had to walk in as a group.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Maybe you could just say the bus, we had something with the bus,
I know.
right? Like.
Yeah, but I
at
felt
least
like
you showed
embarrassed.
up. That's good.
Well, yeah, but that I felt, but because I knew we should have left a half hour earlier, would have been fine.
Oh, well, but there's traffic in California, so,
Tell me about it.
I mean, so even if you did, you might have got stuck somewhere, I mean,
But now there's no more theater in California. No, just kidding.
At
So
least you guys showed up,
Yeah. Anyway, let's do one or two more.
You said no more,
Crimes.
saving it.
No more old times.
Okay,
One more crime.
Okay.
Crime we got, thank God.
Okay.
In fact, we have a lot of crime. It's great. A caller on 22nd Street said a woman was scaring customers, saying there was a man outside with a gun, and said she was, quote, going to go down with him.
Oh, God. Stop the world.
Yeah. Not go down on him, go down with him. I don't, all right, little bit scary. Speaking of women who are brave, a woman on 8th Street said her neighbor threatened her.
8th and 8th?
If it were 8th as I put it. When it's just 8th and somewhere else, I don't. A woman on 8th Street said her neighbor threatened her by saying, quote, "I'm going to claw your face off."
Was he a chicken? A rooster?
Well, then I would have made it a chicken alert. Oh, well, maybe it was,
That's bizarre. I've never, a human? How do you have claws?
it could have been potato claws. And that's Greeley Crimes at All Times for this Saturday, June 17th, 2022. More of Dave's Gone By to come.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
Yeah, he was not.
Sure that you agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
Oh, yes, my friends, you're watching the 899th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife, Joyce. Yes, we still, I apologize for this. We still have the Colorado Limerick of the Damned coming up. But before we do that, let's thank again the guests who have appeared on this episode of the show, as well as a few of the guests who have been on this program in weeks or years past. We call that the Friends of
Should I
the
take
Dave.
pictures of you while your show's on?
Oh, we could.
I just do your show.
Well, but I've got to face this way for
Yeah,
the
well, you
camera.
do your show.
So, first of all, on today's episode of the show, thank you again to Steven Maglio. Steven Maglio, go see him. 2 options. You can go every Saturday night to the Carnegie. Wow. This is what happens after I've talked for 3 hours.
You're just talking.
The Carnegie Club at 8 and 10:30 in the evening. He does his Sinatra. It's called Sinatra Saturdays, where he sings the songs made famous by Frank. He doesn't do an impersonation. He just does it in the Frank Sinatra style. And so you can see him at the Carnegie Club. It's a smoke-filled room. If you want to smoke him, if you got him, you can.
Put your back straight, sit up straight.
If you don't want
Straight,
to,
you're still not straight.
I'm
Next
as
up
straight as I can possibly be. Because well, yeah, now I
Okay,
feel
tight,
weird
you're
looking.
tight, you go back and tight, pretty tricky.
So, if you don't want to see him in that kind of situation, once a month, starting this Wednesday, you can see Steven
These are like
Maglio.
behind the scenes shots.
Yeah. You can go see him at the Cutting Room over on
Oh, you can see my hand in the film.
well, there you go. Where is the Cutting Room? It's on East 32nd Street, only about a block east of Fifth Avenue. And it's this particular Wednesday, June 21st. And then once a month after that, I think
Just
July
slide to the right,
27th.
Slide to the right.
So here, oh, Joyce wants to show the me looking at me, which is, come on, as narcissistic as you get. Look at me.
This is like behind the scenes, Dave.
That's actually very cool. I should share these.
Yeah.
This is where I have a rounded, hunchy back. Yeah, that's not so good, but well, that's me. And that's me. We're gonna delete that one. That's okay. There's and yes, I'm wearing shorts. So, but I add more than underwear. Give me that. So Steven Maglio, go see him, especially if you love that era. If you love the Frank Sinatra, the Rat Pack sound, check him out at the Cutting Room on Wednesday evening. Okay, you're in the shot here. Hello. Thank you also to Leslie Hoban Blake. Go to the Shoe on the Aisle YouTube page.
I
I
want to get your eye.
There we go. Leslie Hoban Blake, she and Charlie wrote the Two on the Aisle. And then don't forget that David Sheward writes. Well, actually, that's not a bad
And
shot.
so the next one is better.
I like it.
Look at the next one.
All right, let's see. Oh, that's not bad. I mean, I've got the wrinkles, but that's not bad. That's
And
very.
that's where you see more good. Look
I have a
where you-
likable eye.
Look at where you.
Well, this we've seen. This is me. When was
No,
that?
that's new. I just took it
Oh,
now.
yeah. And then this is me looking at me. And yeah, and you looking at me. So, David Sheward, The David Desk is his blog. And read his theater reviews at theaterlife.com, culturaldaily.com. And we're very proud to say
David,
Total
after the
fear.
show, will you stand between the 8.99?
I don't know what I'll do next show. I might be outside.
I'll take the
Oh,
picture.
All right now?
I
Oh,
can't do the show,
okay,
that's
hold
gonna be
on.
live, yeah.
let's see, this might not, let's
Just
see.
stand right between the numbers. No, it moved that way.
David Sheward, culturaldaily.com, theaterlight.com, and totaltheater.com, which is
Now look at me.
a website that I happen to publish and
Now look
administer.
at me and smile. Go that way. Oh, I didn't get a big one. Oh, we can't get the numbers down. That's good.
So check them out also. Total Theater, I started that
Oh, look at
website.
This one, you look at your face. You look, I don't know,
Oh,
what face is that?
that's pretty cool,
You're like,
yeah.
"Ooh."
Wow. That's my proud fit. You're also shooting from below, so it's gonna make me
Yes,
look like a
yes.
giant, yeah.
You have like I've never seen you like that. You look
Really?
happy. Oh, look at this one. This is your like,
Well, I'm doing my show.
frozen.
Yeah.
Look at this one. You're like,
I don't know about that one. That's excellent.
David, you gotta do like behind the scenes at DGB.
That's really cool. I mean, especially with our 900th episode coming up next week. But thank you
I
to.
love this one.
yeah,
Look.
that's pretty good. As Steven Maglio, David Sheward, and Leslie Hoban Blake, and Rabbi Saul Solomon. Remember that his website is Shalom Damn It.
Who's
Excuse me.
Rabbi?
ShalomDammit.com. DAMMIT. So ShalomDammit.com.
Works cheap.
He does. But you can listen to and read his rabbinical reflections. They're all there at the website. His one-man show that he did off Broadway many years ago called Shalom Damn It, an evening with Rabbi Saul Solomon, featuring Richard Shore on the piano. You can also see the 10 TV shows that he did on Long Island Cable a decade or so ago. It's all there at ShalomDammit.com. You don't want to miss it. And it's all free. So please check his website out. Now, in terms of people who've been on this program, not this Saturday, June 17th, but June 17th long ago, or folks who have been on this program and now they're doing other things with their lives ever since, we'd like to know, hey, what are these friends of the Daverhood? What are these family up to? I'm going to let you know in these Friends of the Daverhood segment. So, for example, what are the Friends of the Daverhood up to? For example, Katsura Sunshine is doing his monthly Japanese storytelling. What's that? His monthly storytelling show. It's called Rakugo at New World Stages, and he does it one Saturday a month. And this is the Saturday he's doing it. So bring the kids, go see him. There's a very particular kind of Japanese storytelling that he does in English. He's one of the few people who do this. So it's Rakugo, and it's today, June 17th at New World Stages off Broadway. Ari Go.
$34.
That's reasonable. It's a one-man show.
It's at 8 p.m. tonight.
8 p.m. Oh, so it's in the evening at New World Stages over on West 50th. Yeah, let's see.
Tell the chart.
You probably get some
Yeah,
nice.
you can get orchestra 34, center orchestra 44, or
Well.
center orchestra another way. There's not much left. There's not.
Well, he
much
only
left.
does it once a month. Look at that. Yeah, people are going to see Rakugo. People are checking this out. He's marketing to obviously the right
He's
people,
only got a few seats left.
which is pretty good for him.
He wants to go.
Oh, well, of course he does. Giving a shout out to Ari Gold.
David Pierce said he can't sit for long intervals now. Damn it.
That was my fault. It fell off the table there. Ari Gold did a short film called Reunion that is going to be shown at a kind of a makeshift festival at Sarah's Wine Bar in Rockaway Beach. That is tomorrow. So go see Ari Gold's short film in the Reunion Festival. Sarah is Sayra, Sarah's Wine Bar. On Monday, Seth Bisson-Hirsch is doing Laurie Yeston Cabaret at Don't Tell Mama. He was supposed to do it a couple of weeks ago. It got rescheduled. Remember when we had the horrible air and they closed everything down in New York? Well, it was supposed to be that night. Instead, they're doing it this coming Monday at Don't Tell Mama, Seth Bissenhirsch's Maury Yeston Cabaret. And then on Thursday, best of luck to Sue and Lloyd Ecker. They were on this program back in 2015 with a musical that they're putting together about Sophie Tucker that they were hoping to bring to Broadway and off-Broadway. Well, they're in workshop mode. It's taken 8 years, as these things do. But they're doing a workshop of the Sophie Tucker musical at Open Jar Studio on West 48th. I don't know if that's open to the public, but best of luck to them. It's happening this Thursday.
Traditional way, it's a structured storytelling you learn from the master. It took them 3 to 4 years to learn.
Oh, that's true, yeah. On Friday, John Gorka. Oh, this is wow. John Gorka, the folk singer, the folk pop singer, was on the show a few years ago.
Yeah.
He's playing at the United Methodist Church in Timonium. So yeah, maybe Joyce and I will go.
What's he playing?
Well, he's probably solo guitar and doing his thing. But John Gorka, for God's sakes, right? Pretty close to where we are. Now, and speaking of people that John Gorka has played with, Eliza Gilkison has her new album coming out. It's called Home, and that drops this Friday, the 23rd also. Want to remind you that Karen Finley's COVID, Vortex, Anxiety, Opera Kitty, Kaleidoscope Disco is finishing its run now through June 24th. You have one more week to go see it at the Laurie Beachman Theater. Steve Epstein's When Your Soulmate Can't talk.
When your soulmate dies.
When Your Soulmate Dies. That's running at the Alchemical Lab on West 14th Street now through the 24th. I don't think that's every day. That might be a once a week thing. And then J.O. Sanders, he's going to be busy. He just got cast in another play, but he's in the Roundabout Theater's Primary Trust off Broadway at the Laura Pels Theater now through July 2nd. Playing now for the rest of the run, Tova Feldshuh, of course, in Funny Girl on Broadway. Dakin Matthews is in Camelot. Lilias White is in Hadestown. Alan Menken's Music is in Aladdin, as well as the off-Broadway Little Shop of Horrors. K.T. Sullivan is playing Tuesday nights at the Algonquin. Seth Bissenhirsch again, he does his regular show, Seth's Talent Showcase, Tuesday nights at Don't Tell Mama. Marcus Goldhaber, he performs every Sunday night at Room 623 in Harlem, up on 119th Street. Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano are, of course, at Birdland on Saturday nights. Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks are at Birdland on Monday nights, and Jim Caruso's cast party a little later on Monday nights at Birdland. Birdlandjazz.com for tickets. Big shout out, of course, to my friend Evan Seplow, the founder and editor of StageBuddy.com, for all your New York nightlife questions and needs. Dr. Demento is still doing new and old Dr. Demento shows on drdemento.com. And to our beloved Vicky Quaddy, who does Late Night Catechism and Bible Bingo and Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun at the Greenhouse Theater in Chicago. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is almost noon on this Saturday, June 17th, 2023, the 899th episode of Dave's Gone By.
There's a cupcake party we can go to later.
Where?
Painting cupcakes.
What?
It's painting cupcakes, like pictures, not my phone.
That, do not upset me in this way. You said you had me with
Oh, there's
cupcake.
a 5K run for the Jewish Caring.
There we go.
Tomorrow.
I can't imagine Jews running 5K of anything. It's like,
Check out who's attending, exhibiting, and schedule.
all right. Maybe half a K. Like a Jew would be like, all right, look, if there's a sandwich at the end of it, maybe I'll do. But 5K, no, that's for going. Anyway, we have 1 minute until noon, and we still have one more item to take care of in this episode of Dave's Gone By. And I apologize for it in advance, but we do it every week. It's the Colorado Limerick of the Damned, because Joyce and I lived in northern Colorado for more than a decade, and I got it into my head to write a poem about all these different places in Colorado. where the punchline, if you will, or the rhyme word for three of the rhymes generally is this place, whether it's a big city or a tiny little town in Colorado. I've got more than 250 of these. I try to keep them coming. And I have a new one this week. It's for Red Cliff, Colorado. There's a place called Red Cliff in Colorado. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it and then share a little bitty, not very nice poem about it on Dave's Gone By.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Yes, or Colorado. At some point, I'm probably going to start doing Maryland instead. But for now, but for a while longer, it's our Colorado limerick of the damned, Red Cliff, Colorado, which is a mountain town between Vail and Leadville. It's about 1.5 miles above sea level. About 250 people living there. It's in central.
Modern Mines.
Oh, yeah.
Modern Mines.
Mimes or mines? That's horrifying. What do you mean modern mine? Is that here or is that in
I
Colorado?
don't know if they're mines, so it's a band.
Anyway, Red Cliff is in central northwestern Colorado. Surrounding the town are red quartzite cliffs, hence the name Red Cliff, Colorado. And it's in Eagle County. It was founded initially as a mining camp during the Colorado silver boom. I can give them my silver statuette for the Gloria Gaynor article. By the early 1900s, it had an opera house, saloons, a bank, a sawmill, and they also have Mango's Restaurant currently. And apparently a sight to see is the Red Cliff Bridge. And they've got camping and fishing and hiking. It's one of those Colorado type places. Anyway, I have a poem about Red Cliff, Colorado, unfortunately. It's not that bad, but it's not that good either. It's a limerick for Red Cliff, our Colorado limerick of the damned. A husband and wife from Red Cliff were having a bit of a tiff. He spied the fine ass of a curvy young lass and could not conceal getting stiff. Send your comments and complaints to Dave's Gone By at AOL.com. Dave's Gone By at AOL.com. I read as many emails as I get. I can't respond to all of them. You can also write to me at Facebook, whether it's just messaging me or posting a comment under the show or under an older show. And I love to see everything that people write in to the Daverhood. Remember that I have a Facebook page. Well, you're watching on the Facebook page, but remember, well, no, if they're watching actually later on, they could be on YouTube or it could be on archive.org or davesgoneby.com. But remember, we have a Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2. That's Radio Dave, the number 2. We also have our Instagram page, Dave's Gone By. We don't have a TikTok yet, but who knows? What else? So please check out DaveLefkowitz.org. I keep mentioning that I got that second place prize for an article I wrote about Gloria Gaynor. If you want to read it, it's at Dave's Gone By. Oh, sorry, it's at DaveLefkowitz.org. So look for Gloria Gaynor, Gaynor, and you'll find the article there, as well as hundreds of other pieces of writing of mine, from song lyrics to my plays, to interviews I've done with other people, to news items. I've done a lot of them for Stage Buddy, a couple of things for Playbill, lots of things for Long Island Woman and New York Theater News. There's just, all these theater reviews, tons and tons of stuff at DaveLefkowitz.org. I'm very proud of it and keep trying to add more and more archival vintage writings that I've done over the years. So DaveLefkowitz.org, as well, of course, is davesgoneby.com, the basic archival website for everything involving this radio show, podcast, Zoomcast, whatever you want to call it. Now, what's this? This is, this is like sort of the link from Total Theater, which I also administer. It's a little hard to see. But Yeah, to find out more about me, more about the radio show, more about what I write. Wow, I just called it a radio show again. Even there's a link more about Rabbi Saul Solomon too, and his website, shalomdammit.com, and his Twitter feed at Rabbi Saul Solomon. So it's just a couple of minutes after noon. Before we go, I want to wish on the program a one-day belated happy birthday to my darling and wonderful wife. That would be Joyce. She had a big, not a huge birthday yesterday. And we had a nice birthday time, didn't we?
You got me a lovely cookie,
Mm.
and you got me a nice snack and lunchy.
Some husbands get their wives jewelry
Oh, you
or a
got me
car.
beautiful flowers.
Yeah. But more, I got you a cookie.
Flowers.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're very kind and you're supportive and you're a loving husband.
Yeah, that too. So yeah, that's important. Love you. Happy birthday, my darling.
Thank you.
I hope it's a really great. We had, not to connive it, but the past year's been pretty damn good. Yeah.
It's like words.
Yes.
The elliptical fall.
Right. But well, it's been more than 10 months that we've been living in Maryland, and it's been a pretty good stretch.
Show them your new classroom.
Oh yeah, where's the pictures on that? I don't.
Because you were showing that you're obsessed with the unicorn.
I was obsessed with the unicorn. So yeah, so I, what's lovely about the summer, what's not lovely is I'm not making any money, but come August, I'll be back teaching again. And I just saw the room.
Go like,
Yeah.
when you hit potato, you're going the wrong way.
First pick this like really great picture of me. I know it's vain of me to say that, but it's a good picture.
So you show them the full once they see the full
Yeah.
capacity.
So this is going to be
no,
I'm teaching. There's me again.
You can see the whole room.
I'll be teaching a film class at one of the universities that I teach at as an adjunct. I mean, I lost it. Yeah. Oh, I think I got back to
And
it.
show the
What
room.
was this?
You gotta go down. We keep going.
Oh my goodness. This is what Joyce does. She writes books, but mainly she takes pictures of me.
I showed the beautiful one. I should.
What? I keep doing that. Stop that.
Back all the way back. Give it to me.
Yeah. Jeez. I'm not a lefty. It's tough with that finger. So that's what he said. So but it's cool. I'm
Hit the
giving.
one where you just go back and it'll show your.
Yeah, I'll be teaching film.
So then just go back one from that. That's the room.
Check this out. Is that not nice?
And go back one.
Back like this way. Look at that.
Yes, see, look, and go back another.
There you go. So, in a nice modern-y, recently constructed
They
room
were saying
for
you're
a
gonna
film.
show films about ketchup. They think that's gonna be the shit.
No, it's just gonna be porn.
Oh,
The evolution of porn from deep throat to even deeper throat, which is that'd be a great title for even deeper throat. Like Bob. And then the third in the trilogy by George Lucas, Bottomless Throat. That'd be like incredible. Anyway, no, I won't be teaching that. But yeah, kind of neat. I got to meet the chair of a department that I'll be in starting in the fall. But again, just as an adjunct, and I'll still be teaching English too. But it's kind of nice to go into a room that is nice
impressive.
and nicely appointed and new and
It's impressive.
Yeah.
I've never seen a classroom. I've seen, was it maybe at the Met? Somewhere I took a class and it's like, it's beautiful.
so kind of looking forward. I mean, I'm not looking because there's a new prep and I don't know what I'm doing. Don't tell the students, but
You do,
I'll figure it out.
you do.
Very, very carefully and desperately, I'll figure it out. Oh no, don't hurt pair with the ass.
With my phone.
So on behalf of me, is there anything else to talk about?
Oh, yeah, sure. Friend.
Another new friend. Oh, yes.
Oh, God.
In visiting the school where I'm going to
Different
teach
part of the
again.
campus,
Yeah. Well, I taught there last year too, or I taught there 4 weeks ago, actually. But I've always been on one side of the campus, but because I'm going to be in a different department as well, there's now another side of the campus I have to go to. And in between, there's a bridge, a lovely bridge with like a wildlife sanctuary.
Yes.
And as Joyce and I are walking around, we got there a little too early for my meeting yesterday. And so we're walking around looking for something to just look at. And we're looking at these trees and
We couldn't
foliage.
get pictures
And
of
there's
the- remember the deer with the baby?
a
deer?
mommy deer,
And the tiny baby.
a suckling
Yeah.
nursing deer thing
Baby.
with a mommy. But then as we're just kind of walking along, look what we came across.
And
Sorry
we
to
didn't see
see.
when we walked back. It was just that one brief moment where we captured him. And when we walked back, he was gone. They
That,
were also driving these little John Deere like trolley cars,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah, maybe got chopped up by the blades. I hope that isn't that, if you can't see, I think you can see from the, that's a turtle.
Yeah.
That's just a turtle hanging out.
He was sunning himself.
Yeah. He could be all we know, like 20, 30, 40 years old. It's like a tortoise, but I
I
mean-
can try to get him in the Google.
is that the most wonderful thing?
I don't know how to do it, but I could put a picture in Google. Let's see.
Oh, and in our backyard, speaking of flora and
I'm
fauna,
gonna put
here,
him in the.
yeah, please do. We saw our, not sure what the hell it is again.
The Google picture found him.
Yeah, and he's a what? What is he? He's a eastern box turtle.
Yeah, I'm gonna see how long they live.
Yeah. And how big is his box?
I'm looking at the Maryland Zoo.
Your
Eastern
average
box
box turtle,
turtle.
yeah.
The diet are snails, berries, eats everything.
That's a, oh, yeah. Turtle.
Lifespan can exceed up to 100 years.
For all we know,
Yes,
for all we know,
yes.
that turtle could have been around like longer than some of the professors there.
Look, I put a picture and search the picture.
Wow. And yet Joyce and I are still not 100% sure of what the hell the thing is that's crawling around our backyard.
Oh,
What,
wow.
what?
Search the unicorn, look what it found.
Uh-oh. Wait,
It's
less-
search the unicorn, see?
oh, wait, where did,
I
this is
searched
it, this is
yeah.
it.
Yes,
This thing,
I searched it. You put a picture in Google and it searches a picture.
but that's the
Let me
one,
see
that's
it.
actually the toy, the giant, enormous, probably that one doesn't have a poo stain on
They
it.
both look. This one has like a mane, a different color mane.
Oh, really? Oh,
They have, oh.
Oh.
Large horse push. I don't think that one has a pink horse. This is a unicorn. This one is 36, yep. This one,
Yeah.
$45.
look at that. Look at, we pay extra for the shit stain though. And we saw, I call it, it's not a pangolin. It could not possibly be a pangolin, but we have a thing that creeps and crawls around our backyard every once in a while. That is either a badger, a woodchuck, or a groundhog, kind of thumping along. We can't tell. It doesn't have the stripy badger face,
No.
but if the badger were all gray, it would look exactly like a badger. But it may be a groundhog, maybe a woodchuck. It doesn't have a beaver tail, so it's more of a raggy kind of tail. And he's just kind of like, you know, so and then there he is. And the weird thing is, the birds were messing with him yesterday. Like these blackbirds, they weren't even crows, they were ravens. These blackbirds, not huge either. Like 3 or 4 of them. He was trying to sun himself near our bird, not a bird feeder, what do they call it? That's just showing. Yeah, this is what we made of a pangolin. So no, but they were what do they call it? A bird bath. We have a bird bath out there. So he's just kind of taking a sun nap near the bird bath, and these birds were almost like dive bombing him, and then going around his head and dive bombing his ass. He's like, "All right, I'm moving." And then he went under the chair on our porch, and then he got scared and he just ducked around, and we haven't seen him. But I'm so happy to have this wildlife. We had a fox again this week. We had deer in the backyard, bunnies, and now our beloved non-pangolin. I'm very, very, very. I'm chuffed. Gopher, woodchuck, groundhog, or badger. One of those. We've narrowed it down.
The Cub Scout.
I'm telling you, right? Or you can have a couple. I'll take a Girl Scout. You know. Hello. Thank you. I'll have your cookie. Anyway, I'm David Hefkowitz. That's my darling wife, Joyce, on the drums. Thank you one more time to Leslie Hoban Blake, David Sheward, and of course to Steven Maglio. By the way, thank you to Jules Filer and his folks over at Jules Filer for being the press person on that.
Yeah, it was a great connection.
Thank you once again to my cousins, the Shubes or the Kirsches, for sending this. Is there a resemblance?
You don't have any words on your chin.
I got the flat nose on.
You don't have any words on your.
I can
chin.
draw, I can make, or carve in, or shave into my beard words.
Let's not do that.
And thank you again to David Tannery. If you didn't hear last week, David Tannery's I Still Get Demented show, ISGD. It's a podcast that he does, I think, once a month now. I Still Get Demented. It kind of picks up, I would say, where Dr. Demento left off, but Dr. Demento was still doing Dr. Demento shows. So if you want to hear more demented music, more uncensored stuff too, he does this show of funny songs, and he put 2 of my songs on there in the June episode. One is for Mother's Day. It's the MOTHER song, as well as, of course, my now classic Mr. Pooh Dangles, which you can hear on the I Still Get Demented show. Well, we will be getting demented with you next Saturday morning from 9 until noon or thereabouts with, this is unbelievable, the
Oh, and let me get some pictures of you doing it then.
the 900th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio Podcastio of the Stream. That's right. We started in October of 2002, and we're still doing this program.
It's crazy.
So I don't know. I have no idea what guest or what I'm thinking about doing.
Don't overthink it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I want to do something
Gotta
special,
plan
but
something, you know?
yeah. In 2.5 years, God willing, I'm alive and well and still doing this, it will be the 1,000th. But not there yet.
Yeah, but yeah, next week is the 900. That's pretty spectacular.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
don't put my
thinking.
hands up, look.
Whoa. I can't show this. No. But anyway, thank you to my wonderful wife, Joyce, and happy birthday again. Thank you to the folks who appeared on this episode of the show. Thank you to all of you who are watching
Wonderful show.
and give me thumbs up and write to me.
Look and see if the Sheward robbers are typing anything.
And tell your friends, please. Tell your friends, everybody you know, this show is still here and we still do what we do. And if you missed the live show on Saturdays, it's okay. You can watch the archives right on this Facebook page or at davesgoneby.com or at archive.org or the audio at castbox.fm. It just remains for me to say again, thank you so much. Have a fine, fabulous week. Enjoy your Juneteenth festivities. Father's Day, I think, is a week away, so not going to deal with that yet. But make it a good one. Enjoy. Hey, it's summer. We've had lovely weather this spring. I don't want to jinx it, but when it was raining day after day after day months ago, we're like, God, will the rain ever end? Then we had like 4 weeks of no rain at all. And I'm like, I literally felt like a farmer. I felt like one of those people in the Dust Bowl during the Depression era, going like, God, look at this lawn, make it rain. So, it'll come and go. And those days that were cold in the winter, we'll look back and like, when it's 98 degrees outside and humid and ugly, and it cycles. It does, just like our show.
David, the shoot said, wow, I'm not sure what. And then the Mary Pinsky said, wish me a happy birthday. I said, great show. She loved it. Yeah.
Thank you, Mary. She always writes some lovely things. Thank you again to the Shoes. Thank you, Joyce, and thanks all of you. And gone. Bye-bye.
Days gone by.
What does that mean?
You just like crystal,
Oh.
you house for energy. Yeah.
Oh, I guess. Yeah.
They wrote that for, but they wrote something.
Well, have a great one, guys, and I'll see you next week with number 900.